What's up? It's Wednesday, my favorite motherfucking Wednesday of the week. Welcome to Void Jumpers. I'm Jesse Keeter. We're going to be doing an actual play of Monster of the Week, and I'm psyched! This is the game we'll be playing. It's written by Michael Sands, and I love it so much. That's enough of that. Okay, let's bring in the crew. Oh, excuse me, young man. Will you go and get your older brother? We're about to be streaming with him.
You're muted.
Even better.
It's even more embarrassing.
Yeah, I just thought it was his voice was so high because it hadn't dropped yet that we couldn't hear him.
The thing is that I was doing a joke of a very high-pitched voice, but even that attempt to regain some dignity failed.
Oh, it's all right. We're really proud of you. Most kids your age won't even turn on the video when they're on a Zoom.
Hey, man, we have to so that our teacher knows that we're not just sleeping or playing Legos, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I heard you're actively using the 13 plus Legos now. That's excellent, man.
In case anyone's watching these out of order, Connor shaved! Woohoo! Chill, everybody!
It sucks. He got turned down for buying alcohol because he shaved. They were like, it's a fake ID. You're going to have to put someone else, son.
Hardy.
All right, that's enough.
For now, it's enough for now.
Yeah, I know.
That's not fair, guys. I saved up my allowance all week to buy beer.
All right, let me check my notes. I'm a little flustered here. Intro, done. Trin, real world stuff. You're up.
Real world shit. So, I know all of you viewers are very plugged in and smart and paying attention to what's going on in the world, and that's part of the reason that we like you so much. But if there is any universe in which you live in the United States right now and you are thinking about having an indoor Thanksgiving or Christmas or other winter holiday celebration with people who are not in your pod, please, I beg you, do not do it. And try and get everyone in your family to also not do it. We are in a serious situation right now. Like, this shit is way worse than it was back in March when we initially shut down. And as our government has demonstrated, they are just going to throw up their hands and kind of let it unfold. So please, please, I beg you, don't do it. I know it's so hard. I know we're all so lonely and we all miss each other, but please celebrate virtually this year. I'm begging you. I also wanted to give you a quick update about my friend who is being, or my friend's father who's being held by ICE, but my computer just crashed. So I will have to re-drop that link later on, but the update is that they were able to speak with him, and that was a great comfort and cheer to him, but that he is being transferred to Texas. They are in Arizona, and he is being transferred to Texas, and that there won't be a hearing in his case, probably until late December, so that he will be in their custody for at least another month and a half. So please, please keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and if that's something that you're into, and if you were able to either share or donate to their GoFundMe, I think that would be amazing. And I will drop that link as soon as my computer reboots. All right, that's it.
Thank you, Trin. I'm not going to unload on immigration processing centers and the profit machine therein, but they're evil. Google it. We got other stuff to do. I'm just gonna let it go. Okay.
Can I say something briefly?
Please do.
This is kind of for chat. It's like Connor's been like super sad because he's gonna miss his winter formal this year. So,
Oh,
I
Jesus.
just came back to stream. My mom needed me to take out the garbage. What did I miss?
nothing. Boring stuff. Adult stuff.
I'm an adult. Legally, I'm an adult. Okay? Legally, I am an adult. So you have to treat me like one. That's the
Show
law.
us your ID, please.
Mom, do you still have my library card? Mom!
What a good sport. What a good sport.
This is going to be hours of entertainment for us. I can
Hours.
already see it.
I'm just
can't
gonna
have to
clip
go
this
that
segment.
long because I do have a bio test in the morning. So
All right.
maybe like I'll wrap up in like an hour and a half.
Okay. Anyway, that's all the regular life stuff. Mark, why don't you let the recap roll? Everybody outside, you can see that the chest lid has started to slowly inch down toward Tag's back. The metal band around its lid peels back to reveal a row of sharp teeth, and saliva drips down the mouth of the mimic onto Tag's neck.
Whips up his wet pants, puts them like a bridle in its mouth, and then 1 foot on the back of it, sort of trying to leash it.
You go down there and broker the truce, and if it doesn't work, I'll use the lightning rods on the top of this tower to fry all of you.
Oh.
If you could give me just like, I don't know, 1 pearl of wisdom from the years that you spent as me, just one little nugget, what would you tell me?
The worst vice is advice.
I did it! Rex, that was amazing! That totally worked! I always thought that was BS when you guys could talk to each other in your head. But that totally worked! Tag. You kept me from dying. I feel like there's nothing that can happen to me that I can't rely on you or Rex or Sam or Puck to help me get through it. We'll get. I'm hungry now, Connor. God.
Okay, game announcements. Did anybody level up? Bryn, what did you choose for your warrior level up option?
Oh shit! I chose the thing that let me punch back if someone hits me.
Counter Strike.
Yes, that.
Okay. Any other level ups?
No, I'm sitting at 4. I did all my failing up front, made sure that today's adventure would be extra hard, and then I was like, all right, that's enough failing. I'll just moderately succeed for the rest of the episode, mix it
Okay.
up.
Other things to note. Bryn is still a vampire or on her way to becoming one.
She has not turned into a vampire yet.
She's about halfway through day 2 of 3 before the transformation becomes final. And you guys have failed 2 rolls in this mission so far. 1 more will bump up the next mission's difficulty to hard mode. All right. Let's get ready for the story.
Ooh, it looks so pretty.
Yeah, it's a new bumper. We're just getting used to that. Okay, so remember, to beat this scenario, which was called Big Game, you will need to find a way to save Horus's daughter, Lilith. When last we left off, Tag had just asked an ancient druid for a solution to Bryn's vampire problem. The druid said she could perform a powerful ritual to cleanse Bryn if your party was able to retrieve the Eldritch Mare's horn to power it. Tag then shouted at and insulted the druid, who disappeared into the swamp jungle.
Subjective. That's subjective.
But not before transforming the once quaint meadow you'd been standing in into a poisonous quicksand lagoon.
That was incredibly passive aggressive. So you want to talk about who's got anger problems? I don't think it's Tag. It's clearly the druid, because
you're all sinking rather quickly into some nasty looking quicksand. What do you do?
What's nearby? Is there anything to grab onto?
There's trees that you could make it to. The canopy is hanging some vines down. There are a couple floating logs that were once on solid ground and are now starting to sink into. Everything on the ground seems to be sinking in. This is some nasty stuff. It feels like glue.
I will attempt to counter the magic.
Okay. You got counterspell, right?
I do.
Roll it, baby. Roll it.
It's a big moment. This is going to determine kind of the mood, I think, of our rolls right now. I feel like Casey's got that.
No pressure, Casey.
No, guys, it is no pressure, because if I fail, I level up. I get all my spells back and I can kind of do whatever. If I do succeed, bingo bango. Easy.
Bingo bango.
Stress free. This one goes out to class of 2020. That's you.
Oh my gosh.
That's a 9.
9. All right. Choose one glitch. The spell works, but chaos magic disrupts the effects. Pick a glitch from the list.
The spell is of brief duration.
Okay. Tell me how you would cast Counterspell and kind of a very large AoE environment shifting wave of magic that just came out of an ancient druid.
So there's no way to counter the entire spell. She's likely too powerful. So the area of effect is going to be directly under the party and the sinking sand. It won't be trying to return the grotto to its original state. It won't be trying to deal with any of the illusory terrain surrounding us, simply our descent into the quicksand. So basically, we've started to sink, we started to melt in, trying to create a solidified ground underneath us that would allow us to move to the edge of this sort of sickened quicksand and escape over the side, instead of trying to resist the entire dispel or reverse it, just enough so that we can escape physically.
I think that you guys are all pretty close together. So I think that what Puck does is he raises the staff and casts this spell, but the chaos magic snuffs it a little bit. And you feel, Puck, the ground raise up underneath your feet as the quicksand reverses and starts to harden. It solidifies as you reach the surface of it, and you see that you are able to guide this track towards the edge of the clearing. But as you run, the bridge of solid ground behind you begins to disintegrate like a comet's tail. The party's close enough to you that they'll be able to jump on and follow your trail if they are dexterous enough. Everybody roll plus dex.
Oh, no.
Except for Puck, who's going to make it to the edge just fine.
Oh. 13.
Ah, 14.
Ooh.
Did you roll 2 6s too?
Yeah, I rolled my age.
12. Awesome.
12 and a half. Okay, so Rex, you said 7. With 2 full successes and a pretty powerful spell, I think that the party is able to get to the edge of the clearing. Right at the last second, Rex does fall into the quicksand, but Bryn and Tag are able to grab her and pull her over to the side. You see what's left of the grotto suck down into this quicksand, which quickly begins to rot and harden into a very disgusting looking black-green crater. And you are outside of the clearing. The druid is nowhere to be found.
Well, that was entirely uncalled for. I mean, I don't know if that was an accident and maybe she's just, not that good at using her druid powers, or if it was on purpose, in which case I don't even know what her problem is, because, I mean, we could have really gotten hurt.
You shot an arrow at her tree.
Well, the arrow is made of wood, so I was just joining wood with existing wood. That's natural. That's like,
Okay. Well, let's just get our problem solved so that we don't have to get mad anymore. We can move along.
And I whisper to Bryn, "You're the warrior now. It's okay to hit him."
What'd you say, Rex?
Hmm?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, what you did was ill-advised, and it had consequences.
Okay.
I just struck his head.
I think it's important at times like these to not focus on what Tag did wrong, but what the wizard did right. It's easy to place blame, but we can also take the positive approach, which is, oh wow, Sam, you saved us. That was awesome. Let's go find that mare and those magic mushrooms and save Lilith.
Yeah, save Lilith, and maybe ideally keep there from being a vampire in our party. No offense, not like I wouldn't still respect you as a vampire. I'm just worried that there would be side effects to that would be against the overall health of all of us, yourself included.
Yeah, it's true. The group's health is very important. Like that time Sam saved the group's health from quicksand trap.
Man, I
Sam,
give you a high five, a very hard high five.
You did really great, man. Sorry. You know that sometimes I just get frustrated and it's hard for me to see the great work of others, but yeah, it was really awesome. Good job.
Excellent spellcasting.
Thanks, guys. That feels good.
So, keep me honest there, Sam. Make sure that I know when you're Sam and when you're Puck. I get lost.
For sure. I will do my best to use my Puck colloquialisms when I'm the skinny obsidian dude and be a little more amiable with my teammates.
I feel like an aspirational piece of content to create for this channel is just a really little like Puck's travel guide where it just has all these sort of like much nicer way to say different things. Everyday phrases translated into a really sweet vernacular.
It would be such a useless travel guide because everything would get 5 stars. It would be like, oh, this bed and breakfast is excellent. They may make you wait for your food for 2 or 3 hours, but when it gets there, it's food.
I'll take it.
I would buy it.
All right, to refresh your memory, the druid did tell you that there is a secret grove of fair-strang mushrooms, which are nearly as potent as the Eldritch Mare's bone marrow, which is what Horace tasked you to retrieve. They are near her nest, so you'd need to be careful. But the druid did give you a clear bearing to where the Eldritch Mare resides.
Let's head off.
Okay.
There's
The
one
trip.
thing
Sorry, go ahead.
as we're walking, I just want to see if smart rogue tag walking through the forest and getting more and more in touch with the ecosystem, if he can divine any wisdom about a mare's horn, sort of what powers are in there, what a mare can do without their horn, if that's like a really weird fatal blow, or if it grows back, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I don't know that I'll be able to get you all of the specifics, but you are in the Eldritch Mare's territory. And because you're in a monster's territory, you will be able to find sign or evidence of their comings and goings. So roll investigate a mystery.
11.
Okay, cool. You get to ask me 3 questions off of that list.
I'm going to ask, what can it do? Again, more thinking about the horn here.
Okay. You do find what looks to be destroyed trees. A lot of the trees in this area are pretty stunted in their growth. Most of them curl back towards the swamps and these severe bows. But there are patches on raised, drier land in which the trees do grow. You can see that some of them have been shattered in the middle. They don't look like they've been hit with any kind of physical damage, but there does seem to be a lot of magical destruction. And as you're poking around, you get the impression that this was territory being marked in some arcane sense. Yeah. They look like they've been obliterated by different kinds of magic.
Okay, presumably coming from the mare. In terms of thinking about it, marking its territory, I kind of want to learn how to. I'd like to blend in. I'd like to rub some mare fur on my body, get the musk on me. That's sort of the tactic that comes to mind. Is there a way to identify what it considers threats and what it considers friendly?
You did hear from the druid that anything looking to disturb or harm anything in its territory is going to be immediately pegged as an enemy. You don't know to what extent you would need to do things to disturb it. But as far as like camouflaging yourself, as you continue forward, you do find places where it looks like the mare might have been rubbing against the trees, and you do find the discarded shell of what must have been an older horn, and it is hollowed out and dry, but there is a residual magic energy in it. It is a spiraled horn, something that you would see from like fairy tale books on a unicorn.
Great. I pocket it.
Cool. All yours.
We got the horn, baby.
Okay. I wouldn't bank on it, but you do have that thing.
Horn.
There is
I'm
hair.
Less camouflage myself, more seducive kind of direction.
Okay. I'll address your first 2 queries first, and then we'll get to seduction after.
Sure.
There's enough hair, fur, and such stuck into the barks of these trees, and it is kind of a musky area that you could stuff your pockets with this and rub it all over you. It'll give you a +1 to any stealth checks that you would be making, which will stack with any bonuses you're already getting.
Okay.
You do get the impression in this that the creature is very large. And so perhaps being low to the ground could help you if you are dealing with it directly. If it is very tall, kind of being under its eye line. Seducing it will be context sensitive, require some quick thinking on your part, and a very high roll. because there's nothing in this area that leads you to have any kind of insight into its preferences.
That's okay. I think once Stag put on the necklace and became a rogue, he came onto a kind of raw sensuality that will serve him well in this case. I'm ready to go.
Okay. You got +1 to stealth with your stinky horse fur in your pocket.
Stinky's subjective, but okay.
And you are able to continue through the swamp. The going's a bit tough. You do come across several hoof prints. Whatever it is seems to be bipedal. And the hoof prints are seared into the ground. It looks to be a bit more extreme than fire and reminds you of the kind of magical destruction you saw in the marking of the territory. It will not require any other rolls for you to find where you're going. You know the way because you spoke to the druid, but is there anything else you would like to do in the swamp as you make your way there? Any other conversations you want to have with the party or any other answers you'd like to try and obtain?
I think we should role play a little powwow, a little huddle planning session amongst the party.
I can even get you to the lip of the nest so I can give you kind of a view of what you're looking at and give you some information before you plan an attack if you'd like.
Sure.
Cool. So you won't have to deal with all hypothetical. You travel through the swamp for about another hour and then come to the nest. The Eldritch Mare's nest rests at the bottom of a deep hollow. Swamp channels empty into this pit. You can see the mare has claimed one of the many caves below. It is full of bones and brush and discarded adventuring gear. You think you even see a chest. You do not, however, immediately see any of the fair-strang mushrooms the druid was talking about. This is not too concerning, as there are many nooks and caves in the sides of the hollow. If the mare is here, you do not see her yet. What looks to be her den could be quite deep. So if she's here, there's a chance she's inside. There are vines that are draped down the walls of this hollow. It goes down probably 30 feet. There are plenty of waterfalls where the swamp is emptying into this basin, and there are many caves dotted in the walls of the cliffs that make up the sides of the hollow. You can glean that the mushrooms are probably in one of the caves, and unless you have visual confirmation, you're not sure what or where the Eldritch Mare might be. But you are able to find a nice vantage point on a hill overlooking the edge of this hollow and have a little powwow to discuss.
Okay, here we are. We know what we're good at, and we know what we need. Anybody have some intuition on a plan of attack?
Go into
Well,
the caves and get the mushrooms.
Getting to the caves will be an obtainable goal. It will probably require some or all of you to lower down on vines and then perform investigation to find where the mushrooms are. It'll require dexterity and lore, but using teamwork, you guys could give each other pluses and assign who is doing what. So that is one way. If you want to try and search them, you'll also need to roll a stealth check if you're trying to all be quiet while you're doing this. But that's the kind of thing you would need to get into the caves.
Well, Tag, you have adorned yourself with the fragrance of the mare.
Yeah.
You have an excellent chance of, if our intent is to avoid conflict,
Right.
have us lower you in with some good instructions on what to seek when you're inside the cave. Between our two companions here who seem less inclined towards stealth.
Excuse me, what?
Excuse me, the swamp air has activated my sinuses. Well, it's just based off of the realities, real histories of, for example, the Bryn Berrien running up the booby trap stairs after Tag specifically said that they were trapped, or
I didn't hear him say that. That
the
was not my fault.
the Rex cleric who literally turned herself into a cannonball to be fired out of a trebuchet through a tower wall. It just seems
that was rocks.
That was fun.
It was fun, but it wasn't quiet. And I'm just saying, if our goal is to try to circumnavigate violence, we lower Tag down with specific instructions that he can then likely ignore and incite violence that you'll then be able to participate in but feel good about. Or we just go with plan B and just rush in there and, smash everything and grab some mushrooms.
Well, what if Rex and I lure the mare out and keep her occupied while you guys go in and get the mushrooms?
Are you going to keep the mare occupied with death and weapons?
Yeah,
I'm very
punches?
fast. I can run fast.
I think that a split party, lure the monster, sneak behind the monster sounds very exciting to me. And I think it is a plan that will work just fine if you'd like to execute it. Your success with it, I don't know, but I think that I could probably give you some rolls to make.
Well, it sounds like a good plan. Connor, do you have your permission slip for this adventure?
You don't need a permission slip once you're in high school, okay?
If we're going to take you to school grounds...
During lunch period, I can go to Sbarro if I want and get as many slices of pizza as I want to eat. It doesn't even matter. Nobody's looking over my shoulder. As long as I've saved up from mowing the grass, I can get garlic knots and like 2 different kinds of pizza slices.
They all taste the
3
same.
years when you learn how to drive, that's going to be great.
You don't need a license to drive a Razor scooter, Trin. Okay, so joke's on you. You definitely don't need a license to do sweet tricks on it. I'll see you at the half pipe, loser.
All right. So, Rex and Bryn make their way down into the depths of the hollow. You can see them down there. There seems to be some kind of bioluminescent algae that is here. The area seems to be affected by residual magical energy that is different from just the siphoning of the blight planet. And then Tag and Sam start to get the vines ready to be lowered down.
Before we do that, I just like to Tag takes a minute or two to kind of construct a series of zip lines around this little hollow up high with these vines using he fixes vines to the back of his arrow and shoots them, breaks off another vine, fixes to an arrow, shoots him, so as to create a system that we can all use to kind of zip around a little more should we get into a tight space with an angry mare.
Okay, I think that if you spend one of Bryn's supply of, I think she has 2 left in the little 3
I
cup.
have 3.
Okay.
I used one of... I bought one, and then didn't you give us like 3 little boxes in the beginning of this that were supplies?
Oh yeah, I guess I did.
So I have 3.
Okay. So if you spend one of Bryn's supply, and then you roll, I think just act under pressure, so plus dex. Your success on this will tell us how good your set of zip lines is going to be.
You cool with that, Bryn?
Oh yes, of course. Here you go.
Thank you.
Also, was this idea inspired by Lara Croft Tomb Raider by any chance?
Good callback. Good callback. It was inspired by a video game, and I could definitely spend like 10 minutes talking about that. But I was thinking more when you get into a tight zone in Apex Legends and you've got a couple people playing Pathfinder and they're all just making zip lines everywhere. It's like a little jungle gym. Glad nerds are cool now. That's a 9.
Cool. All right, so they're not going to be perfect. You can use them to get around, you will still have to roll because of your mixed success. It'll just be a dex roll. But the vines will allow you to basically traverse this thing in a much more vertical fashion. So it can get you from top to bottom as well as across the pit. So you have a lot more movement available to you. But you will still have to roll because there's a chance that you'll fall off or break them.
Cover that.
Okay. So would you, the two of you who are stealthing, like to tell me what your plan is? You're on the edge of a very steep cliff. There are caves embedded in the walls. You have vines at your disposal. Who's going down and who's doing what?
Well, Sam, you wanna come with? You wanna divide and conquer? You wanna just lower me down like your little musky ferret into a maze of danger?
Yes. I think we've divided and now we conquer. So I think maybe I lower you down so that I can make sure that you get down safely, and then you anchor the vine down there, and then I climb down, and then we proceed together after Bryn and Rex create their hubbub to lure the mare just in case the mare is within those caves.
Right, that would be I'll make a very clear signal if that is the case.
So here's the deal. It won't take a roll to get down the wall if you guys are going to split up like this and take your time, but it will slow down your search.
I think
Dog.
I think
A
we
dog.
I think we discuss how we're going to do it while we are both climbing down simultaneously.
Yeah. Okay. So this is not the time, but I do notice that we're kind of going on our own little side missions sometimes. And I think it'd be cool if we had like a handshake or like a tagline, that we could say, just kind of like a, no.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just something they really like, because it feels cool, I just like two dudes just
Climbing on vines.
Yeah, climbing vines.
Yeah, but so do you? I don't know. I feel like we want both the sort of apparently spontaneous tagline for each adventure, as well as like our go-to, the one. If this were like a movie or something like that, or a show, people would be like, "Oh, how are they going to work in their tagline this week?"
Maybe we just, audition a couple extemporaneously right here, and we just kind of see what works for us. Okay, great.
I'm a big spitball guy, so I'm just going to throw one out. It's not going to be good, but it'll get the ball rolling. All right?
Okay. Cool, man. Well, hey, good luck down there.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, you too. Let me know when you're down.
I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
So at this point, both of you will need to roll plus dex.
I think something tells me that Sam just leveled up.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
No.
Well, I level up because that is the lowest roll possible on a pair of dice.
Okay, let's just take a quick pause to do some bookkeeping, because I think that a lot of stuff happens for the wizard when he levels up. We're going to freeze in the moment where they both look at each other and say, "Tell me when you're down there," and then realize that they're both climbing down. Wizard, all of your spells refresh, and you get to choose something from the wizard level up section. What would you like?
Well, I've been thinking about it. There's a lot of good choices, which is, the burden of, being a wizard. So I would like your assistance on this, because my instinct is always to go with fly.
Right.
But sculpt matter is just, it seems a little juicy in terms of actually not avoiding conflict, but doing something a little more fun. So I think I'm going to go with sculpt matter on the contingency that I'm going to roll a bunch of fails again to level up quickly so I can spell.
Deal.
Great.
The other thing to note is that is the third fail of this adventure, so you have just kicked the difficulty of the next one up to hard.
You're welcome.
We want it anyway.
Yeah.
So all of your spells refresh, and you now have sculpt matter. This is what we see happen. The ladies make it down to the bottom of the hollow and turn around to gauge the progress of their friends. And they see a strange sight because they were pretty sure that they'd agreed to just take it slow and lower themselves down one at a time. And you see that both of them are hanging from vines halfway down, having a pretty excited conversation. You don't hear much of it, but you do hear the word tagline and then spontaneity and all these other fun buzzwords. And then you see the wizard slip and fall, only to be caught at the end of a vine around the ankle and tied upside down, swinging freely in the air over the hollow as Tag reaches to grab him and does not succeed. Tag, you are now hanging where you were, and Sam, you have fallen and are now caught around the ankle. Now, both of you just roll a stealth check. That is plus dex. Tag, I think you get some bonuses to this, plus your musky smell.
12.
Perfect.
7.
Okay. Tag, you're going to be able to do pretty much whatever you want. Casey, the moment you try and do anything, you will need to make a series of act under pressure rolls in order to stay hidden. But you are, consider it this way, you are hidden. So if you start to try and do weird shit, you will need to work to stay hidden with a partial success. Tag, with a full success, you can kind of move around. Because at that moment, when the ladies turn back around, they hear a noise, and they see from the largest cave, where you took it to be the nest of the Eldritch Mare, you see a large puff of sparkling periwinkle blue smoke, followed by a snort. And uncurling from this relatively low cave, there is a towering figure, easily 10 foot tall, shimmering black fur broken only by the single line of a glowing tattoo. The Eldritch Mare has one spiral horn extending from the crown of her long face. It, too, glows, though the color changes, cascading through the rainbow. Draped over the mare's shoulders is an enchanted cloak, spotted, like Sam's, with shimmering stars and moons. Oddly enough, the Eldritch Mare is bipedal. Its hooves burn with magic, cauterizing each of its footprints as it steps out into the hollow. It does not see Sam and Tag, but immediately recognizes Rex and Bryn, unless you would like to take an option to hide yourself now. I just assumed you didn't, but I will give you an opportunity to hide if you'd like.
I think I'm far too in awe of this magical creature
Same.
to hide myself.
Yep.
Okay. It does not approach you, though you can see from its body language that it is immediately tense and wary of your presence so close to its nest. It seems to be waiting for you to reveal what your intentions are. What would you like to do?
I think I would just like to stand there in shock. And this is the moment in which we realized that as a child, Rex was a horse girl. It's just like...
So is it like a satyr corn?
In a way, yes, but not so compact and cute, like a little Cupid on a Hallmark card. This thing looks much more like something out of Shadow of the Colossus, just not made of stone.
What
Just
color
long.
hair, mane?
Black. There is a glowing blue tattoo that is cut into the fur that is like a single line drawing that goes all around its entire body, arms and legs.
That's
Do
cool.
we know the meaning of this tattoo?
It does not seem to be in any kind of language. It just seems to be in a decorative pattern. It just is like a cool tattoo.
Yeah, I think Rex just waves.
Rex waves, Bryn bows. Okay, yeah. So the Eldritch Mare takes one long step forward, and you can see that its hooves are in fact burning the mud when it steps down. One of the other legs drops into a big puddle, which immediately starts to boil, and the steam coming off of it is infused with arcane energy. And the Eldritch Mare speaks to you. Its voice is booming and fluid like a song, and you cannot understand what it is saying until what seems to be a form of psychic translation creeps into your brain and says, "Why have you come to this sacred place?"
And I sink to my knees and I say, "We have come because the life of an innocent is in danger, and we seek healing for her."
The Eldritch Mare cocks its head and takes another step. You can see what is beginning to be perhaps the creature pacing. Its hands do have fingers and thumbs. They are not cloven, and it is holding them in front, twiddling the thumbs a little bit. And the Eldritch Mare again speaks in that booming unknown language, and the voice in your head says again, "The creature you speak of, are they one of my domain?"
Yeah. Alas, I cannot lie to you, Eldritch Mare.
Sucker.
not.
The Eldritch Mare turns and says, "They are human."
She is a child.
I do not appreciate being disturbed, but
I'm very
assuming...
cranky after a nap myself.
The Eldritch Mare laughs at that. And she says, assuming you have brought tribute, I will give you audience.
Of course, we have brought tribute. Do you have any doorknobs left?
I have some raw meat and some gold. I could put
You're
that-
very quiet, Lisa, FYI.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Better.
Still pretty quiet.
Our tribute is. Oh wait, can we hear this, or is it? Is
You
this
can. You are still, while they are about to be discussing tribute, you see all of this unfold. Sam, you are hanging upside down, probably 10 feet above the ground. And Tag, you are secured in this vine on the side of the cliff. What would you like to do?
Clarify altitude for me. They're on a sort of plateau above us, and we're vining down the side.
No, they've gone down to the bottom where the mare's nest was. So you are above them.
Gotcha.
All right. I whisper up to Tag. I'm like, all right. So it's like we're just hanging out.
Is that part of a plan, or are you telling me? Is that you were throwing out a catchphrase?
Yeah. I thought we were still doing the taglines. I just figured like.
No, I want to do the taglines. I was just nervous because it seems like we're in a. I didn't know if you had a plan. I don't have a plan.
No, neither do I.
We are
But
just hanging out.
I just figure like we're in grave danger now.
We are.
This would be a good time to like just let it flow because there'll be less like inhibitions like blocking our creativity.
That's good. I got one.
Okay, great.
We're
All the blood is
alive.
rushing to
We're
Sam.
alive now.
Oh, I like it. All the blood is rushing to Sam's head, and he's like holding his like wizard hat on, and his robes are like falling up into his face as he's like hanging up in the vine around his leg. It's like starting to unravel, and he's like trying to like hook it with his foot. And he's
Hey!
Tribute where tribute is due. Hashtag Rex.
Hey, Rex, you got a +1, it looks like, in the bank.
Woohoo!
Tribute where
Tinker's
tribute
Hey,
That was
is due.
Thing.
Holler. Holler.
Who was that?
Thing. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thing.
Okay, so from where you are, you can begin searching for the mushrooms. Sam can actually help you spot them. He will get a +1 to investigate because he will be able to see in a 360 most of the caves from where he is.
Right.
But Tag, you will need to be the one to go and get them unless Sam wants to try and move and stay hidden.
I'll just search first. I won't try to dex my way out of this. My lore is pretty good. I'll just try to scope around as I'm like gently like drifting in a circle, like some sort of what are those things that hang in a baby's crib?
Yeah.
Mobile?
Mobile. Yeah, I'm a wizard mobile.
This is very much the opening scene of Thor Ragnarok. Sam doesn't quite have say over where he's looking, so he'll see a couple into the couple caves that we'll have to pause for a couple seconds as he comes around the other side.
Roll read a bad situation.
Okay. Which one of my skills applies to that now?
Plus lore.
Okay, so as he's drifting around, the back of his head is facing the cave, and he's like, all right, friends to the end. And then as he drifts around, I have a 10 for locating mushrooms.
Cool. You get 3 questions. I will tell you that the first one is just going to be where you find some mushrooms, and then you can use your other 2 hold if you'd like to get any other information about the area or the Eldritch Mare. You do start to hear a faint little tinkle of a song, as though it is a miniature xylophone. And you can see from one of the caves, about halfway up the wall, a faint glow with a little sparkly mist seeping out, like dry ice fog on the bottom of it, and then cascading over the edge. And you get a pretty good idea that there's some magical stuff in that cave.
Okay. Is there anything, are there any dangers in the cave that I haven't seen?
No. It looks like you're in the clear. The Eldritch Mare, from what you can tell, is very territorial and very powerful. And if even a druid was unwilling to deal with her, you have a pretty good idea that she is the only source of danger here, besides falling from where you are.
And are the mushrooms, do they look cared for and cultivated, or do they just look like a natural phenomenon as part of the biological process of the mare?
They do not look to be placed there deliberately. There's nothing about this place that suggests things are being grown or farmed deliberately. You would think, knowing what you know about magic, that the arcane energy of this place has probably augmented some kind of powerful herb or fungus or something. There might be other magical things here, but that's probably what's going on. It's a magical mutation.
For my last question, can Connor sleep over tonight?
Only if both your parents say it's okay.
First, I got really excited because I was like, "Oh yeah, he really is. He's like totally doing the friend thing." But then I remembered that it was a dig at me because I shaved and I look like a child.
Dude, we should do a sleepover, man.
Well, Trent just said we couldn't because of COVID, so I'm gonna listen to her. But I would love that. So rain check me, please.
Tag, would you like to go after those mushrooms?
I would love to.
You will not need to keep a stealth check going. You will have an opportunity to keep stealth going if you roll a fail. I think my light just died. We're cool.
You still look pretty lit.
Okay. Yeah, so unless you fail this roll, because you had a full success on your stealth, you will have a chance to like maintain stealth. But it will be a dex check in order to get to the mushrooms, and you can use your cool zip line thing, but it will be a dex check.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now. Seven.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember what a fail is. 7.
Okay. You are going to be able to get there, but you will not get there until next turn. The partial success will be an extended time to this. But will you tell me how you Lost Boys / Rufio your way over to the cave?
Yeah, so I still got a good hand on the vine. So Tag starts to give himself a little swing until he can push against sort of the cave face and start to get a little more momentum and push himself all the way over to the cave. And then he's just going to hitch the vine there on a root, a little snaggle-tooth root at the side of that cave mouth.
Okay. That's where we get you as you've hitched to the snaggletooth root. And we go back and cut down to where we see Bryn and Rex looking at each other, questioning what kind of tribute they might have.
As I was saying, I dig through my pockets and I have raw meat and gold.
Lisa, roll read a bad situation.
That plus lore?
Yes.
7.
Okay. You get the distinct impression that the flesh of animals may not be the best idea as far as tribute goes.
A self-indulgent hashtag swap because the chaos is just delightful. Jesse to Casey because it doesn't seem like Terry's too many hilarious accents to make Connor do tonight.
Whoa!
That was $100 towards the GM swap.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Does that mean we're swapped already?
I don't think so. I think we're 50 away from it. Maybe? I don't know. Mark.
We're swapped? So I will pass the torch over to Casey. The last thing I said to Bryn was that she got the distinct impression that raw meat might not be the best tribute. Have fun.
Raw meat may not be the best tribute, and you see the mayor's eyes start to glow the same color blue as the emblem on her chest.
Do I see anything around? Huh? What do I see? Can we see any other kind of tribute or anything that could be a tribute on the ground around her?
You see there is sort of a there appears to be no manicured land around this area at all. It seems entirely natural, entirely wild. You see no shrines like were erected for the druid here at all.
Wild. Is there flowers?
There are flowers. There is a sort of several hanging flowers around one of the trees to the left of the caves. The entire tree has sort of been wrapped in these sort of choking vines that have sprouted flowers.
And I look at Rex and I'm like, I mean, do you have a flower spell? I mean, I can do a water flower, but I'm at a disadvantage. It'd be kind of dicey.
And I say, no, I can really only heal things and maybe do a little bit of shielding, but that's it.
Do I have a +1 in the store?
You fucker.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to attempt to make a water flower before the Eldritch Mare.
Casey, if she fails, bad stuff happens, and also she's at a severe disadvantage. So just like go fucking nuts if she fails this roll.
And I say, wait. I have one. I don't know if she'll like it, but I have one thing I can offer her. And I reach into my robes and I pull out the handle of that knife that Tara gave me, that I've been carrying around with me since we were on that planet. And I say, it may not look like much, but it is imbued with my deepest hopes and dreams and is very precious. And so to someone who deals in hopes and dreams and magic, I think this item could be very useful.
You see the mayor glances only briefly at the knife, but as you speak of your hopes and dreams, the mayor makes direct eye contact with you and begins moving forward. She seems to be fixated on the actual, not your eyes, but the feeling behind your eyes in relation to Tara. And she says, this dagger has incredible meaning to you. I sense that you may be well-intentioned. It is, what is it that you seek here?
We seek the fram mushrooms that grow in these caves.
Yes.
I don't remember what they're called.
Yes, that is the technical term for them. They will save the life of the one you seek to help. And I'm prepared to help you after such a wonderful offer, though I will not deprive you of your...
Well, it's not even a useful knife, it's just the handle.
Yeah. I want you to do something for me, and if you were to do something for me, I will agree to give you these mushrooms without conflict.
What?
There is a long history of my presence in these swamps. I have long tried to bring balance and keep peace in this place. Many years ago, a druid arrived here and has attempted many times to destroy me and to poison the minds of those around here. I don't know if you have encountered this druid, but she is untrustworthy. If you are willing to dispatch her and ensure my safety and the safety of all the natural creatures of this wooded glen, I would gladly give you these mushrooms.
And I visibly gulp and I say, I need a moment to discuss it with my companion.
Be swift, time is of the essence for your friend. And she takes a few steps back.
What do we do? She could crush us with a single hoof.
I don't know.
Hoof?
Sounds like another mission.
Hoof?
Hoof. So she wants us to. What was that? Was she trying to get us to kill the druid?
Uh-huh.
I don't want to kill anybody. I just want to get the F out of here.
Yeah, but how do we say no politely?
Well, God. I'm just a warrior. I just want to smash it.
Sam makes his best attempt at a frog whistle to try and get Brit's attention.
All right, make a lore check. Use your best to use the natural surroundings based off the frogs that you have witnessed so far.
I was ready for a GM swap this time.
Great. You get a +3 to your lore.
That will be a 7.
Okay, Bryn, you hear a sickly frog in one of the trees. That sounds like it's either sick or it's a mating call. But you definitely hear
What is that?
And you look up and you see Sam dangling above one of the caves by one leg, holding on his wizard's hat. His face is entirely feverishly red from blood flowing into his brain. with his other hand holding up his wizard robes to keep his nether regions covered.
Brent.
What?
I point to the cave where Tag is slowly crawling towards the twinkling mushrooms, and I say, "We just need a couple more seconds. Just a couple more seconds."
All right, Tag, you are in the cave, and you see these incredible display of mushrooms. You see all these phosphorescent lights lighting up the cave from inside. You thought you might need a torch or something like that, but inside it's even brighter than outside. And you see just with every step, you hear almost like a singing coming from these mushrooms, like a low hum.
As Tag walks forward towards the mushrooms, he finds himself, without even realizing it, starting to hum along. And his eyes go wide, and he leans down, and he rubs his hand across one of the mushrooms. And while it looks like it's just glowing, as he pulls back his hand, his palm is also glowing in that light powder blue streaked with lavender, bright yellow like the sun. And he reaches down for a tiny little mushroom and tries to not exactly break it off, but just so gingerly, because there's this immediate instinctual reverence he has for this mushrooms. Just kind of pull it lightly at the point where if you ever pull blackberries or raspberries, you don't want to kind of force one off, but just find it jiggling in your hand until it wants to come apart when it feels like it's ready. Does anything happen when he does that?
Absolutely. As you hear that the mushrooms actually change their harmonic frequency and start to harmonize with the hum of you. And as you touch the mushrooms, you feel the light start to guide you, and you can feel you're being called to specific mushrooms as if it's guiding you through song and light. And you, every time you touch one, you kind of like wiggle it. You don't even have to give it a full tug. You just kind of like, no, it's not that one. And then you go to the next one, and you're like.
And the ones that it is, I just kind of rest my hand on the base of it, and there's this slight crack, almost like someone popped a knuckle alone inside a giant cathedral miles away. And then the mushroom just, you can see the ground, the dirt start to vibrate and sift aside, and then the mushroom just raises up and floats a couple inches off the ground, and Tag puts his hand out and the mushroom just lays into his palm.
It feels like pickup sticks. I don't know if you ever play that game.
Oh, I have played a game.
Yeah.
If you've got the wrong stick, it's like, forget about it. But if you've got the right stick, it's just like, oh yeah. And they earn their title of magic mushrooms, where you start to see that as you go around, not only does the first one float up and raise into your hand, but you start to see the ones that you would go after, and those two start to raise and gather into a mushroom bouquet, and as if they were waiting for you. All the while, the song that you're singing is being sung by the mushrooms that are being gathered, and the other ones start to dim a little bit and fade down and become more background, as if these were the mushrooms that were waiting for you.
And every time Tag puts a mushroom into his pouch, he says a small thank you.
As you do this, you start to get this heightened sense of belonging, as if you've always been a part of the cave, and there's no guilt or second thought about this at all, as if there was no other way this could have gone. Meanwhile, on the ground, the mayor turns back around on Bryn and Rex. What is your decision?
Well, I just have a couple clarifying questions, if that's all right.
Clarifying questions?
Nice one, champ.
Yes, so if we were to complete this mission, and obviously what I'm going for here is the idea that I'm just trying to draw this out as long as possible before we commit either way. So would we take the mushrooms now and then we would go kill the druid, or would we need to kill the druid first and then come back to you? And if we did do it that way, would we need to bring some proof that we had killed the druid? Would it be enough just to banish the druid? You know, if the druid like really, really swore, like pinky swears that they're not going to live here anymore, would that be sufficient?
I'm a fair being and I know when you are lying. I would be glad to give you enough mushrooms to keep your friend alive for the time being, but not enough to save her as a token of good faith. And in turn, you would then behead the druid and bring her remains to me so that I have no doubt of your commitment to Sparkle.
It actually fits with the Eldritch Mare.
And as she says that, sparkles shoot off of her, the emblem of her chest.
Do you
Have you
have
made your
the
decision?
Tine on this planet?
The time?
Tine. Have you heard of the Tine? I think they're older than you.
No one is older than me. I am one of the original beings on this place.
Aren't you bored?
Of this conversation, yes. Have you made your decision, yes or no? Sam, what do you do?
Where's Tag? Is he coming out of the cave yet?
Tag, are you coming out of the cave or are you still singing with mushrooms?
I think that he's gathered up all the mushrooms that presented themselves to him. Most of them are in that bouquet, which he's pocketed. And I think he still has 2 left in his hand. And he walks out to the edge of that cave.
Would you make a magic roll for me?
Yep, I will. Oh, God.
I'm mission control now.
Okay, I dropped one. That's a reroll, or do we play it as it lays?
Reroll it.
Okay, reroll both, or just reroll the dropped one?
Roll both. Come on.
That's good.
That is. Are you gonna get an experience here? Are you gonna be bored?
It's almost for sure. That, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this in the history of Void Jumpers is our first negative roll. You know what happens? That is a oh no, that's a straight 0. Sorry,
Zero.
not negative,
All right.
straight 0.
So Tag, here's what happens. You realize you need to taste these mushrooms.
Yeah.
You realize that there is no possible way that you can leave this cave without insulting the mushrooms if you don't eat one of the ones or 2 of the ones that called to you. In fact,
I put one into my mouth, but seeing Sam there so close to me, I'm instantly compelled by this feeling of augmented fraternity and affection to give this one to Sam.
one of the great things is about these mushrooms is that because you are eating them, Sam is also eating them. It's just like, it's how the magic works, that just by proxy of you eating them, he's going to have the same experience.
Great. So I'll ingest both, kind of knowing that one of them is for Sam. I sort of, as I put it into my mouth, I lock eyes with Sam, and I see Sam's mouth opening.
And you see Sam waving his arms, cheering you on.
Yeah, I see it. It's in slow motion. He's like my best friend waiting for me as I come over on a Friday noon after school, knowing we've got the whole weekend to just hang out, talk about our feelings,
Sam,
whatever else kids do.
Oh,
you
no.
see one of the mushrooms and you see another one going towards his mouth. What would you like?
I'm not going to be able to stop the second mushroom. I know that, but I can see that I just need to take the situation into my hands. So I'm going to start swinging so that I can just upside down bear hug him and pull him out of the cave. And if we're lucky, I can see that he's got a bunch of mushrooms in his satchel. If I'm lucky, we'll be able to sneakily work our way out. I don't know how, because I'm upside down, and I'll just be holding on to him. But I'm going to try and swing over and grab him.
All right. You jam your staff against the rock face and push yourself out to create a big swing. Roll a dex check to see how successful we are.
Okay. And I want to be doing this without getting caught by the mare.
Okay.
Cool. Failed that.
Failed that. Go.
Or let
Awesome.
me just double check. Failed that. Rolled a.
Yay! No!
Fun, right?
They're very
Rex,
fun.
we are screwed.
So-
Mark your experience. You can keep that one. That's for you, Sam.
All right. So, Sam, you successfully press off of the rock face, swing outward. It's an incredibly powerful press that you didn't even expect from yourself. You swing into the cave. You manage to bear hug Tag upside down, grab him, pull him off his feet, swing out of the cave, and then you feel the vine whip off your leg, and you guys start to fall from the elevated height down towards the ground. Bryn and Rex, you see just the biggest debacle above you as Sam goes into the cave, grabs Tag, and they fly off and are now plummeting towards the earth, towards the mare. You have a few moments to decide what you'd like to do.
I'm crying.
I imagine it's like there's this giant mare in the middle. We're looking, or like the warrior and the cleric are looking up at her, and behind the mare is all of this like Lotsy that's happening. Where they're like trying not to look.
All right, you got two. What else? What are you gonna do, Bryn?
I'm just gonna scream. I've got an elder scorpion in my sword. You want to see it?
Yeah, I mean, roll a charisma check.
7. No, 9. 9.
9. An elder scorpion? I wonder. Yeah, I guess I could take. What? I mean, we're talking about the druid. All right, Tag, Sam. If either of you would like to try to land on the Eldritch Mare, or avoid the Eldritch Mare, or land quietly, you may decide that now.
I'd like to just land quietly on the ground.
Okay. You guys are going to make a joint dex check, and I will take the average of the two, and that will determine how well you're able to roll and or land on the ground.
Am I adding my stealth bonuses to this as we're trying to land quietly?
You both get all your bonuses or penalties, and then I will add them together and divide by 2.
I'm out.
All right,
Just
Jesse.
a straight roll.
Here we go, baby. My fucking god.
No! No!
Fade away 4.
Oh my god!
Come on!
Okay. I don't remember what we did for the 5s.
All right, Bryn and Rex, you see one of the most amazing things you've ever seen as Tag and Sam fall down. They manage to hit the ground and roll perfectly, being completely silent. It is one of the most spectacular things you've ever seen. And then as they come to a stop, both of them simultaneously lock eyes and scream, "Yeah, baby!"
We did. And I think that
Yeah!
the way that Tag is doing it is he still just in this kind of residual trance from the mushrooms, and he imagines himself slowly kind of hovering down to the ground, kind of like Zack Snyder loves to show Superman, in silhouette with the sun behind him, slowly fall to the ground, regardless of what actually happened. And he just starts doing the song and kind of like adding some air drums to the humming, the mushroom song.
Oh my god.
The bear whirls around and looks at you. She sees blue powder smeared over Tag's mouth and hands, and wheels back on Rex and Bryn and just stares you both down and says, "Betrayers." And she gets into a fight position.
Oh God. Okay.
I think that's where I'm gonna flip us back.
Sounds great.
I got the mayor stats. And now you're gonna fight her.
Well done, team. Well done.
Well done.
Wow.
See.
That was a ride that
Yep.
I am glad I took.
All right, so Tag, your stealth bonuses are now working against you. The mushroom is making you do weird stuff. That'll only really come into effect if you fail rolls. Everybody else, I think that we're going to be starting with Rex.
I can make up an answer to this. Do you want to give me just the slightest hint narratively? Because even if mechanically that only happens on failed rolls, I think that I still have to play the truth of having just ingested at least one, maybe two of these mushrooms.
Definitely 2.
Okay.
It's going to be really good, like, body high. And then if you fail a roll, it starts to be brief bouts of hallucinations.
Okay.
So really, you're just feeling yourself right now.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with the cleric. You've just seen the Eldritch Mare whirl on you and yell in this. It's just like this bellowing sound of storms and wind and thunder as she opens her mouth and erupts this, and you hear in your brain, betrayers.
I'm gonna try and throw myself behind the nearest tree, but also actually like take cover.
Okay, you get to use a little bit of your shield action when you take cover, right?
Yeah, I get a +1.
Okay. Roll act under pressure, and you get an additional +1.
What's the act under pressure one?
Plus dex.
Okay.
Yes.
Leveled up.
All right. We'll pause and do just a little bit of bookkeeping. Rex, your scroll holder that you've been pulling all of your spells out of, you hear it go, and you can see that it's filled back up with scrolls. All of your scrolls have recharged. And you get to choose something from the cleric list. What would you like?
I think probably cleanse dark magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you dive for. I'm just adding this to your little sheet here. You dive for one of the trees to take cover, and the Eldritch Mare lashes out with one of her cloven feet and connects with your shield. She deals with a sparkling hoof attack, 3 harm physical and magic, as you are slammed by a horse kick. The shield connects with you, and an explosion of sparkling arcane energy throws you through the air, and you go tumbling back into the mud. Bryn.
Wait, so how much harm did I take then?
3 harm. It just counts as physical and magic. So if you have armor that just protects you from physical or just protects you from magic, it would bypass that. But it's just 3 total.
Gotcha.
Okay. I think your shield's working for you in this instance, right?
It looks like it says it protects me against certain spells as well as arrows and darts.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's working for me or not.
There's a part above it. It says Divine Shield, 2 armor versus physical attacks and magic.
Yeah.
So you're taking 1 harm that passes through. We're going to Bryn, warrior. You just see the Eldritch Mare effortlessly kick Rex, who goes flipping through the air in a puff of sparkles and smashes into the mud. Ba-bum-bum-bum!
Barbara Bryn.
Will you just read us before you can only speak in the word smash what it says for Barbara Bryn?
Thanks. I was like, how am I going to say this? It says go berserk. Gain a +1 to strength, dex, damage, and armor. -3 to lore and charisma. I can only say smash. So how do I tell you what I'm doing?
Smash!
Smash.
Yeah. and I'll interpret it as best I can.
Oh,
Smash,
so
smash. Why do I
Roll
sound
kick some
Midwest
ass.
when I say that word? I can't say it.
Lisa too is beholden to this curse. It's not just that Bryn can only
Oh
say.
no, I guess it's just Bryn. That would make way more sense. Thank you for that tag.
Okay, so I can say what I'm doing.
You can tell me, but your character cannot communicate to anyone else with anything other than smash.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna take out my Buster Sword.
Okay.
And the horse, did you say that the mare is only on back hooves?
Yes, but she does count as a large creature, so Big Ass Buster does come into play. You get an additional +1 to hit and damage when fighting large creatures.
That would give me 5 damage. I'm doing
Wow.
it. Well, because I'm 3, plus I get
Fuck.
a 1 from Barbarian, plus a 1 for Big Ass Buster.
I gotta start making like way stronger enemies.
I think that
There's
you
no,
can.
we can't see your sheet, Jesse. You could cross some stuff out right now. and
Yeah,
then
just call it all.
I'm not cheating, okay?
What-
Look, hey, it's cool with me. If you guys want to just waltz into this nest and destroy an ancient guardian spirit who's only interested in protecting the innocent, sweet little woodland creatures that you might see running from the flames in the beginning of Bambi, if you want to come in here and kill that thing real easy and prove how tough you are, hey, it's your fucking show, man.
That's cheating. That's the most cheating thing I've ever seen.
Does she look like she's on the verge of death?
The mayor?
Yeah.
Oh no, Brinstall's got to roll, kick some ass. Some stuff might happen.
I'm just aiming for a leg. We just need the marrow.
Yeah,
We've got
because
the
taking
mushrooms.
bone marrow from a live creature in the middle of a swamp with nothing but a giant sword as your operating instrument is going to be real easy. Roll, kick some ass.
She hit first.
You clearly never spent a summer in North Carolina where you weren't allowed to play video games and had to just find your own fun, because it's easier than you think to take the bone marrow out of a human.
That's really good for kids, by the way. Go outside, see you at dinner. It's like, figure it out. Go live. I'm biased. Anyway, Barbarian, sorry.
Kick some ass plus strength.
Do I get a... That's a 10.
Okay. The Eldritch Mare does have some armor, which only... Oh, yeah, okay. She's got a little bit of physical armor from that cloak. So she takes a wallop from the warrior, who raises a gigantic sword over her head and yells,
Smash!
and brings it down into the Eldritch Mare's knee. The mare stumbles backwards, and in she looks quite surprised to have been taking such a large blow from such a puny creature in her eyes. And her horn spirals up in rainbow colors, and a beam, unicorn beam, fires out and strikes the warrior for 4 harm magic.
Whoa!
Sweet.
Yes?
Barbarian gives me a +1 to armor, but is that only physical?
Yes. In my brain, you're like just toughening up. You know, it would be
So I take 4 harm.
4 harm.
That's what
Whoa! Out of 7?
you're gonna
Which I believe
enact my
makes you
death curse
unstable.
too.
It is not mitigated by her armor.
No, that's the thing. She turns into this beast as Barbarian, where she's basically hitting for 5, but she has only physical protection. So if you were fighting like a rock monster, she would be almost invincible. But if you're fighting a sparkling Eldritch Mare, you're in a pickle. That's why your shield is so effective, Cleric, because it has both physical and magical armor. Only a few items have that in this game.
So bad anymore.
But the mayor does look to be very surprised. This was not a calculated attack. This was somebody lashing out in fear. And you can see the horn smoking as though it just overheated. And you get the impression that this isn't going to be a machine gun, that it probably took quite a bit to launch that off. Wizard.
Yes. So I am going to sort of, uncharacteristic of Sam, take the moral compass of this, assess through this wizard's heightened intelligence, both the status of the mayor as well as the status of the mayor's attack. And I'm going to use sculpt to matter to try to encase the mayor in a sepulcher so that we don't have to destroy it, and it will give us ample time to escape without ending this unique species.
Cool. Before you roll, name the matter. You have anything that you'd find in a swamp at your disposal?
All of the earth and stone beneath him.
So primarily like terra firma.
Yes.
Okay. Roll plus magic to sculpt matter.
7.
Cool. You do have you don't, I'm just bringing it up because you haven't used it as much. You can cash in a charge on your staff to just bump your success level on a magic roll.
I will do that. I will absolutely do that right now.
I'm only telling you this because I know, and I guilted you guys, that you might want to preserve the Eldritch Mare. I wanted you to go behead the druid. Casey's out here throwing you guys crazy plot lines. Okay.
And she already betrayed you guys. You know, Tag was...
Kill us. Yeah, I would have been all about beheading the druid.
You yelled at her. Sometimes I want to
And
kill
yes-
people when they yell at me.
And Jeffy already set up the conflict between the druid and the Eldritch Mare, like that they were like beefing over the same turf, and the Eldritch Mare was here first, and the druid didn't help you guys, and you know, it just anyway. Terra firma sepulcher for.
Sure. You get full success on this. It's going to allow you guys to escape. You've already spent time creating a strange vine zip line, although Tag is tripping balls right now. Just tell me what it looks like when you cast this spell. You get. It's going to do what you want. So just give me the flavor text.
So the earth wells up in a spiral like two earthen hands, and they cup around the Eldritch Mare, lifting her partially into the air with plenty of room for her to move, so it's not a full constraint, as well as trying to leave some of the same phosphorescent energy from in the cave within the sepulcher. So she is also not sealed in darkness, but in light, in some, humble attempt to let it know that this is a merciful and compassionate act and not an additional act of violence.
Okay. She ain't happy, but she gets it. You do hear her immediately start trying to escape. But unless there's anything else you guys want to do in the Eldritch Mare's nest, you will be able to use the vines to escape.
Hey, Tag, there's a bunch of snacks this way.
Are we done? Are we bugging out?
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go save that girl. You've got all those mushrooms. She wants some of what you got.
Right. Well, I think that I will not obstruct that, but Tag is definitely going to have a moment with the Eldritch Mare before bugging out.
Okay. Everybody else starts scrambling up the vines, and you are standing in the floor of the hollow, and you can see that her hoof smashes through part of the sepulcher, and she's keeping it even though it's closing, and you can see her glowing blue eyes in there, and she's looking right at you.
Whoa, horse girl, calm down. I mean, you talk about being one of the earth. The earth's just trying to be one with you too, as am I. You asked us if we are in fact one of your... Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. That is You asked us if we were one of your kin, one of your charge, one of the folk of your forest, the fen of your slen, and I think that I can speak for all of us when I say... What do you think about that? And I'm kind of Tag is reaching inside his pockets for some of those just kind of molted unicorn hairs, and it just starts continuing to rub those all around himself.
Oh, wow.
Just to be clear, you're not. I don't think you're wearing pants, right?
No. I mean, I've got. This is not a graphic scene. I've got undergarments. He's not
Sure.
just hanging out.
I know. I'm just trying to get the
Tagline.
in mind.
The
That's the tagline. Begins to speak, this time in a much more whispered storm. She's addressing just you, and she says, I can tell that the others are not from this planet, and that they, simply being humans, let alone outsiders, are not one of my kin. But I can tell that you are from somewhere that I cannot identify. Your magic that hides beneath this necklace is something I have seen very few times.
It goes by one name. Jazz. Tell me, horse lady, you attacked us and called us betrayers, but why? How and when did we betray you?
I made you a deal that you could be rewarded with mushrooms if you beheaded a druid. A simple task for adventurers as strong as you.
A simple task which we accomplished. You gave us the mushrooms, and in turn, we give you the druid. And Tag thinks that he's holding up the head of the druid, but is in fact just raising his clenched fist in front of him.
She squints and then says, "Did you eat the mushroom?"
I did not so much eat the mushroom as realize that the mushroom was always inside me, just as this rather passive-aggressive woman's head was always in my hand. Just as we were always your befriended, therefore never betrayed. And Tag drops the druid's head and kicks it towards the mare.
The mare looks down as though she can see what you're seeing, although those of you on the edge of the cliff, you can tell that there's nothing that's been thrown or kicked, despite the fact that there seems to be recognition from the two below. And she says, I have no choice but to answer one request from those who eat the mushroom to look beyond the veil. I will answer this request, and then I will continue to try and escape so that I might destroy you. But I am bound by the rules of my order. What is your one request, traveler?
Interesting. Tag looks at the mare and he still is vibrating and he's still floating a little bit, but there is something centering and grounding. And he says to the mare, in this moment, I know connection. I know it to be genuine and I know it to be real, and feeling it now makes me realize how hollow it is at other times. Is this to be my future always? To be spinning alone in the orbit of nothing? Or will my feet touch ground one day?
I do not have perfect sight, but I can see the trajectory of your destiny. You have a chance to be grounded, but there are many things standing between you and that time, some of which are recognizable enemies, but others are conflict within yourself. You will find, Tag, that you will only be grounded when you can let go of your need to fly.
Wow. So we're complete when we let go of that self-identifying attachment. You freed me, Mare. And I feel it only right for me to free you too.
You fucker. What would you like to do?
I'd like to walk up to the mare, pull the horn out of my bag, the old horn, and do kind of like a Indiana Jones with a bag of sand kind of swapperoo.
Swap it with what?
The horn.
Her real horn?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Any of us
Yeah.
see any of this?
here's what happens. You do that and grab her horn, and it doesn't go anywhere. So you can try to remove it, but it will not be as simple as just swapping it out. You
I feel
will
like maybe you
need-
haven't seen Indiana Jones recently enough. It's
He's
very
dealing
clear.
with like a small stone pedestal with a weighted top,
Right.
right?
Well, the pedestal is the giant horse monster.
I assumed, yes, that is what. Would you like to try and remove the mare's horn?
So Tag, it doesn't come off like that. He doesn't yank. He's a little confused, so he just lets go, looks at the horn in his hands, and says, "Right. My mistake was thinking that there was ever a horn to take off in the first place." And he kind of puts the horn on himself and just goes up and just delicately kisses the mare on the snout. See if that does anything.
She says, I've answered your request, human. I'm now going to free myself. If you are here when I am done, I will destroy you.
Sam is like all his concentration to like keep the sepulcher together, like just bag, we have to go.
So Tag whisks himself around in a 180 and kind of in his head slow motion just trounces away and flips himself up to grab a vine. It yanks himself up in the zipline pulley fashion that he suspected it would as he turns backwards flying up and blows another kiss at the mare on his exit.
She blows you one in return. The sepulcher closes. There's a second, and then it explodes in that arcane glittering beam that you saw her shoot out of her horn. And she rises from the ashes of the sepulcher as you guys turn and flee into the swamp. You know how to get home. The mare is on your tail. Is there anything else you'd like to do in the swamp, the mare's territory, or with the druid before you return to Horus?
I think this is an appropriate time for Rex and Bryn to chastise Tag for his behavior.
Well, we did it. We did it. Did it.
What happened?
We killed the druid. Beheaded
No.
her.
You did Tag.
I
did
made
it.
love to a horse.
Wow.
You didn't do that. That none of that happened.
Hmm?
And as I'm running and sprinting next to Bryn, I say, "Hey, you went for the knee, right?"
I did. And Bryn is deeply ashamed of what she did.
Yeah,
Deeply.
we can talk about that later. We're running out of the swamp right now. What I want to know is, how deeply did you cut into that knee? Is there any marrow on your sword?
Pull it out and I look at it. There's definitely some gore on there.
There's some gore on there. There is no marrow, but Tag does have the mushrooms that you need. So the marrow becomes irrelevant. When you do realize that and confiscate this bag of drugs from the guy who's tripping balls, you find that there are 4 fair-strang mushrooms inside. You know that you need 3 to save Lilith, which leaves you 1 additional. And as you put your hand on this 1 additional mushroom, you get that sense again, like you did with the forgiveness stone, that this is the ding magical item that Slokta may be looking for from this test. And because you were managed to get 6 mushrooms that turned into 4 after tag 8-2, you do have enough to return 1. Is there anything else you want to do in the swamp?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
Resist the urge to push Tag into the mud.
You need to roll plus charisma.
To resist that urge?
Yes.
Okay.
How are we doing? How clean is Tag?
All right, mark experience, because I did ask you for a roll. He leaps up onto a log, again, about to spout this monologue about how, very bardic in the, like, we killed the druid, we beheaded her, kind of this new sing-song version, and as he opens his mouth, you just push him, and he flies backwards into the mud, and you continue on out of the swamp. As the sun is rising, you find yourself at the edge of that horrible, horrible wasteland, and you can see the dying bonfire that Horus and his hunting party were camped around. You stroll into camp and he rises to meet you. There is sadness in his eyes, but when he sees the bag of glowing mushrooms, he smiles and he says, "If we leave now, we just might be able to make it." And he reaches forward for the bag of mushrooms.
We take out the one that we need for Slokta and hand over the other 3.
The moment his hand closes around the satchel of mushrooms, everything freezes, and this test falls away below you, and you find yourself standing again in the basement of Blight Manor on the other side of a portal, which collapses. Tag, the strangeness you felt from the mushroom has cleared. You all retain the harm that you took. Bryn, I believe, has taken the most. And you are standing there, and Slokta floats from the ghost market over the pit that you saw the summoner disappear into earlier, and says, "Oh, congratulations! You're making quick work of my tests."
Yeah, we
Yes.
got a mushroom.
Oh! And Slokta reaches forward and beckons for you to hand over the mushroom.
Yeah, I don't think there's any resistance here.
Okay, cool. She takes it and then flings it towards the ghost market, where it floats over and disappears into a thing. And you hear a cha-ching, very like level up in a video game. And she says, "Okay, so I believe that you requested for information about the tests themselves in exchange for my secret items. I can tell you this. Some items are so powerful and so entwined with the fate of either the planets or the heroes who oftentimes are called to save them, that if a memory is properly preserved, the item themselves can be rescued, though often a test of either wits, strength, or guile is required. So, in this way, I am able to reobtain all the ingredients necessary to cheat death with a very powerful ritual. And that is why those who wish to do so are tasked with going into my memories to retrieve these special items. The items themselves do exist, but not until they're rescued and brought unto this plane and handed over to the person who remembered them."
So this isn't So much a series of tests is a series of errands.
Well, that's a rather glum way to look at such a magical adventure.
No, it's not glum. I'm just being realistic about what is actually happening here. I mean, you suggested that we were testing our mettle, so to speak, whereas in fact we are retrieving magical items for you. Have I misunderstood?
Sort of.
Okay, well, help me understand.
You're still being tested, are you not?
Sure.
And so what if the reward for the tests combined is dependent on your ability to complete them one at a time? You'll still get exactly what you want.
Because this concoction to cheat death will be for us?
I need it in order to open the portal to where Summoner Capio went. The ritual will imbue you with the ability to cheat death if you choose. But that is up to you. I am bound to offer this ritual and its powers to any who complete the tests. That, too, is my price in order to create them and preserve the items in my memory.
So the items exist in your memory in infinite supply. So, for example, when Capio went through your memories to complete these tests, he brought back these mushrooms or the marrow as he brought back the forgiveness stone, etc., etc. And now we are returning to the memories to reach into the same source and bring out a unique version of those items?
Yes.
Interesting.
It is not a magic I can wield lightly. It is partly the reason why I am anchored here as a ghost, unable to ever find peace. This power came at a terrible price. So it is not a simple endeavor, or one that I nor you should take lightly, but it is quite novel, right?
If we die in one of these tests, do we die for real?
Yeah, is it like the Matrix?
Wow, I was hoping that you wouldn't ask. Yes. Again, this is a double-edged sword that you are playing with. There is great reward, great power available, but in order to make those things real, so too are the dangers that protect them. If you die in the test, you die in the real world. Because essentially, you're not here being projected into that reality. You do get that, right? I'm not plugging a thing into the back of your neck while you lounge in a dentist's chair. You're actually taking your corporeal form into the tests and experiencing them in your real bodies. You do understand that, right? Some of you are magic users. Am I correct?
You're getting a little condescending in your tone. Yes, we understand that it's our bodies, but the things that could hurt us are not real. They are...
What's a dentist?
They fix teeth.
Oh.
Can we come back to Slocta? What just happened?
This is the blood of lambs.
You know what? Out of game, Connor, I just can't. I might just let that one go. I can't.
Here's the deal, Lucille's. You've completed the second test, and I'm very proud of you. So, a third awaits. You'll have an opportunity to shop at the ghost market and resupply, or heal or recharge any spells you see fit before you go into the next test. But before we do, I have to go ghost pee.
Slocta, is it possible that your creator didn't put a ton of thought into clarifying specifically what your mannerisms were, and so as time goes on, they're just getting loosier and goosier?
Who knows? Let's take a 2-minute break. I gotta pee.
They collect wives?
Ex-wives.
Ex-wives.
Yeah, not deliberately. I tell you, every one of them was the one. Does that thing make whiskey? Hutt raises his fists and says,
It's a 2-drink minimum. I bear hug him.
That is what I was hoping you would do!
And I go, ah! Breaking sound!
Matt Vansel.
Does it make me magical?
Red card.
Oh no. No.
So you're out 5 minutes because you said by 5 p.m. Wait, actors are like chili. By 5 p.m. they're shit.
Fair enough. It's a fair cup.
You in.
The following is a paid advertisement.
You all had the stew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need everybody to make an easy constitution check.
Are you kidding?
You all rolled ones. That's okay. It's just stew. They serve it at the inn all day long. No big deal.
Should be fine. Okay. What? What?
Your entire party dies of dysentery.
Gosh. We have builds that should let us survive that, but our dice betray us. I wish there were a way to show these dice what we really thought of them.
Has this ever happened to you? Your dice just hate you. You've tried everything to get them to roll well.
That's right. You can do this. Just let me know what you need. Massage, bubble bath. You could go on a date after this. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Seducing.
Hey, come on, baby. Don't be like that. We're together. And the mood is right.
Reasoning.
You are a 20-sided die. The odds of rolling a 1 are 1 in 20. Now, the odds of rolling 5 ones in a row are 1 in 3.2 million. Why? Why are you sucking? Stop sucking, please.
Threatening.
Oh, really? You think I won't do it? I've done it before. I've done it before, and I'll do it to you.
And even dark offerings.
To the gods of blood, I offer you this sacrifice.
Then you need Die.Club, the ultimate in dice retribution services. Here's how it works, and some testimonials.
So the best thing about Die.Club is that they fit the punishment to the crime. For example, my rogue walking down a dungeon corridor. I roll a spot check. I roll a 1. I fail to see the gelatinous cube. I walk into it, get dissolved completely. Oh! Damn you, Die!
All I had to do was jump out of a tree. I had max ranks and tumble. I rolled a 1.
For a long time, I was just angry at the dice. I wanted to punish them, myself. But it's too hard. It hurt my hand. It hurt the tools I was trying to use. I even ate one of the die one time.
I had so many ranks in balance. So many ranks in balance. A suspension bridge over a pit of lava. I fail the roll. Obviously a 1.
So, I send my die off to Die.Club. Now my die is sitting in a jello mold in someone's refrigerator in North Carolina. Thanks, Die.Club.
Take the offending die. Place it and seal it in the provided envelope. Mail it off to Die.Club.
I put my die in an envelope and sent it off to Die.Club, and a week later I got its mangled corpse after being put through a wood chipper. Now I have time for my real friends. My Sailor Moon body pillow and I have gotten very close.
It wasn't just the feeling of satisfaction I got knowing that my die had been utterly destroyed. I got back together with my girlfriend. I got the idea to get that bike tire repair kit, and I haven't had a herpes outbreak in 5 months. Who knew how good my life could be thanks to Die.Club?
Thanks to Die.Club, I don't have to put myself in danger to put my dice in danger.
Everyone likes Die.Club.
Thanks, Die.Club. You gave me the vengeance I was looking for. I recommend it for everyone. Die.Club worked for me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
Go to die.club today. That's die.club. Hurry and visit die.club. There's nothing like the amazing new die.club. In case you missed it, that's die.club. Die.club. It's a club where die. Act now and you'll be able to visit die.club.
Welcome back. So, Slakta floats over the pit in the floor and says, your next test will be a threefer. A threefer! 3 for the price of 1. While there will be individual requirements for each section of the test, to beat this scenario, you will need to survive. So, Slakta snaps her fingers, and from the pit springs forth a portal. A portal opens in the pit, ringed with gold. Golden letters materialize in the air before you. They read, "The Arena." Below the level title, the difficulty reads medium. Then it clicks over to hard mode, motherfuckers. The portal opens before you, but you will have a chance to prepare. The ghost market is open for business, as well as you are able to use any items you'd like to before you actually enter into the next test.
If you want, Bryn, I do have a health potion. Rex, obviously, I don't mean to step on your toes. I know that you're a skilled healer. I don't know if those are, things that you want to save up on. I'm a little embarrassed about my behavior, and I don't know that we need to talk about it, but anyway, I'm just trying to get my head in the game. So.
Do you remember anything?
Yeah. Well, I killed a druid. And
really
yeah,
didn't.
she was a little mean to us, but
You didn't kill the druid.
I know I didn't just kill her. It was a fucking mass slaughterhouse. I mean, her head was in my hands, and I looked at. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't kill the druid. That didn't happen. You were as high as balls.
What? What? I didn't kill it. What?
No, you just maimed her.
Yeah. And you didn't have a love affair with a horse either.
You just rode her.
Oh.
Well.
I guess you win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
In my head, Sam, I thought that we kind of, I don't know, I just remember us being really like witty and coming up with all these cool sayings that we were throwing back and forth. I guess that wasn't really there.
No, that part's accurate.
That happened?
Yeah, that happened. That was before the mushrooms.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We'll have to keep working on it. We got a couple details, but I figure by the end of all these adventures, if we keep chipping away at it,
yeah,
it's a lock.
Yeah. That's why they call us the chipmunks.
Okay, I like that.
I know we're still in brainstorm mode. We're still in brainstorm.
Oh
mode.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're in the generative phase. We're still building momentum.
Yeah. Do you want the health potion, Bryn?
I need to heal 4, so the health potion does 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How much does my spell do? Hang on.
Bryn, you tip back the health potion. It does heal you for 2, which will stabilize you, but it tastes like ash in your mouth.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I did
too. Why does it taste like... Does it usually taste like this?
As you kind of cough and rub your mouth, you do feel that your teeth feel a bit different.
Can I pull out my compact and look at my teeth?
You can. You do have a special mirror, right?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. What does it say?
Oh, I don't think I have that.
I totally forgot about this. Yeah, so you have an enchanted item that your mother gave you. I didn't even think about this.
Yeah, it shows a person's true self. Oh no.
Yeah, so when you look at it, you see a form looking back at you that looks very much like the portrait that you saw of Slakta in her tower in the first test. Your cheekbones and chin are just very prominent. You have very, very pale skin. Your eyes have no pupil. Your hair is even thicker and longer and seeming to float of its own accord. And your 2 canines are very pronounced and long and sharp and pointy. And as of this moment, the 3rd day has officially dawned, and that little section we added to your character sheet is now active. You guys don't see all of that. You do see that Bryn's canines are fangs, but all of that other stuff is just what she sees in the reflection of that mirror.
Snap it shut really quickly.
Okay.
What did you see?
Do I feel the teeth?
Yeah, the teeth are actually there.
Nothing. I saw nothing.
You saw nothing? Oh God! Vampires don't have reflections. If you saw nothing,
I saw
that means
nothing
you
of
were.
interest. I saw nothing of interest. I look a little pale. Do I look pale?
Is that why you're covering your teeth?
What?
I mean, like you're very directly covering your teeth.
No, I just the potion was ashy. It kind of got stuck in my teeth. It's embarrassing.
Bryn, the tactics that you're pursuing right now would theoretically work had we not been tracking your evolution to vampirism over the last 3 days, which we all know about and have checked in about frequently. Why are you hiding this?
Fine. Do you like it? I have vampire teeth now.
Do I like it is complicated. Do I think it looks cool? Yeah. Do I worry about its implications for all of us? Also, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm real thirsty right now, and it's starting to get real bad. So if I don't find something red to drink soon, it's going to be a problem. Slakta, do you have any more of that sheep's blood?
Oh, that was just a joke. I'm a ghost.
Sam starts having flashbacks to the first vampire that Tag and he and the group saw when they first arrived on this plane, and he starts having a similar sort of like affliction with Bryn, and just for some reason starts like scratching his neck, just chin high, just like why am I thinking about this? Why am I even contemplating such a thing?
I see the vein in his neck, and I'm real tempted. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Here's what's up. Mechanically speaking, you will need to drink blood in the next 24 hours, or you will start to lose 1 harm. It will decrease your maximum harm. So you don't just take 1 harm damage. You drop from 7 to 6 as a permanent affliction. That does go back up when you drink blood. But that will stack every 24 hours. And to be clear, it has to be human blood or an equivalently powerful magical entity. So you can't go
How much?
Find a dead rabbit that died of natural causes in its old age and have a little sip. You have to drink live human blood.
But how much?
Like a meal's worth.
So not enough to kill a human.
No.
Does it turn them?
There are mechanics that will need to be observed when Bryn bites something.
Nobody tell my mom.
Tag pushes Bryn into the portal and jumps in afterwards.
Okay. There's still 2 people standing outside the portal if you want to shop before this next 3-part test in which your only objective is to survive. Slocta says, well, looks like they feel pretty competent. Anything that you want from the ghost market before you leave?
Tag is trying to be a dick. Let me just be clear. He's panicking. He doesn't know. I think I, maybe Connor, now know what the timeline is, but he sees that Bryn is a vampire. He's been trying to avoid it the whole time. He doesn't know what the solution is. It was maybe the horn that didn't work. It was maybe the druid that didn't work. It's not here. There's no... Slocta has proven to us that she has no cure at the ghost market, so I figure, hey, this arena is at least a new terrace upon which to look for a solution.
Hey, I'm not naysaying your choice. I'm just aware of what's coming up, and I've seen you guys start missions without healing before.
I still have 2 harm.
I got no gold.
Also, mechanically,
I have gold. God.
Bryn, mechanically, you have a stat flip that happens. In the daytime, all of your stats are at a -1.
Daytime right now, it is, isn't it? Because you said the sun.
Well, you don't know what's on the other side of the portal, but yes, you did feel a bit weaker because it had just become dawn when you transformed. Wizard, cleric, before you jump through the portal, you want anything from the ghost market?
I've got no cash.
That was all our gold, Tag.
Okay, Connor feels very bad. I feel like I did what I did impulsively. I didn't realize what was going on. Here we are.
Okay, so the cleric and the wizard leap through, and you hear Slocta behind you say, "Good luck!" The ground rushes up to meet you. Let me find my notes.
Instantly turn to Tag and I bare my teeth and I'm like, don't ever push me.
I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. What I did was wrong. Bryn, I've never dealt with this before. There was one vampire that we dealt with. I was extremely attracted to her, and I don't even know why I had to say that part of it. It's not
She
obviously
probably
with you.
hypnotized you. I won't do that. I think I can do that though.
Yeah, you can. There is, in my brain, the way that this is happening in fiction is that you guys are getting so comfortable with this jumping through portals into tests that this is like you guys flying through a wormhole and you're just like having this conversation.
Our bodies being stretched as we go around corners.
Yeah, the ground rushes up to meet your feet, and you find yourself in what must be a staging area of sorts. The ceiling is low, there is one door on the wall across from you, and the room is full of moldering weapon racks. You are alone in the room.
It's an arena?
Okay, I'll talk first. I'll say I overreacted, and Rex, I'm okay. I'm admitting it. I overreacted, and now here we are. But what mistakes were made. What can we do from here on forward?
I don't think that contained an "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry.
I accept your apology.
Thank you. I really am sorry.
Somebody roll investigate a mystery.
11.
Cool. You get 3 questions from investigate a mystery.
Let me just. I'm gonna, if that's all right, I'm gonna give one to each of these other party members, just because I feel like I've been doing a lot of investigating and don't want to hog it.
The creature questions won't necessarily apply, but this will give you a sense of what is in this room and kind of where you're at.
Are there any dangers that we are unaware of, as yet unaware of?
No, this seems to be a rather secure room. It's almost like a green room, you know? You can tell that there's some benches, some places to lay down. There's a small snack station that's like half empty, as though people have been in here before you, but there are some peanuts and some Gatorade.
I take them.
You have them. And there is a little stall over by the wall, kind of in the shadow, which is why you didn't see it at first. And it looks like a much older version of Slakta the Ghost's Ghost Market. In fact, there's even a sign hanging on it that says Slakta's Ghost Market with a little flip over that says, "We'll be back after first event."
Is there any doors?
There is one door at the other side of the room.
Is it locked?
It is not. When you go through, there is a
Well, hang on. Who says we're going through it yet? You said there were
I
some
pushed
moldering
Rex
weapons
through the
here.
door.
There is weapons here. Nothing that looks worthy of... they seem to be kind of like stock weapons. You know, there are swords, shields, spears. You guys can have any regular weapon that you want. Any weapons will just deal 2 harm physical. Any shield will just provide 1 armor if you don't have armor physical. But they just seem to be like provided weapons. Most of your guys' shit is better than this. But you are free to pick up anything you'd like. All standard weapons. All yours. It can be thrown or used as a melee weapon, but track it.
And before we walk through the door, I do want to pull Brent aside and say, listen, I know I'm really new with this magic stuff, but I've been working on a new spell that might help with the vampirism. I'm kind of scared to try it in case it goes wrong, though.
Well, do you want to try it on tag first?
Are we even sure she's a vampire, actually? I think perhaps one of us should volunteer, and I'm not recommending myself, just to check to see if it's a problem or if it's a blessing. You know what I mean?
I'm going to hypnotize him.
All right. Here's how it will work. You will use... Where the fuck did we put this vampire stuff? I think it's just on a different doc. Okay. You will use hypnosis. When hypnotized, Sam will... You must roll plus, I guess, magic. It's plus magic because cool is not part of our stats here.
Charm.
Yeah. So
No,
it's going to be
it's
plus magic to resist.
Okay. Come on, dice. You've been failing me all day. Give me a fail right now. You know what it is.
That's cool.
8.
Okay. You must obey one command given to you by Bryn, but then your hypnosis will be broken.
I want you to talk about how much you love Puck.
He's my mind. She's taken over my mind. The powers. Why would you do this, you foul creature? Evil being! My sanity is being ripped away from me.
Come on, out with it.
You know, one of the things that I really love about Puck is that he is just so fastidious in his dinner preparations. A lot of people will primarily focus on entrees or starters, and you should see the absolute concern he places like a garnish. he will spend several minutes arranging parsley and or decorating or frilling the edges of a lemon slice, even on the water that goes with a meal. He really feels that there is a palatable feng shui, even in the way that he refuses to randomly assort chocolate chips, but feels that they must be evenly distributed in a cookie for even baking temperature. I feel like that sort of attention to detail is something that he does additionally with friendship. He really takes the time to get to know people and the things that matter to them, and then goes out of his way for one of the most selfless sort of acts that I've really ever come across, in that he really has almost no concern for himself. I think it has to do with the immortality, that his priority is entirely in the experience of mortals. Just because I think there are, in the same way that he arranges food, though he has no palate, I sometimes occasionally wonder if his inability to love is what makes him so lovable. I find that he's just one of the most genuinely interesting and sort of splendid creatures that I've ever come across. And it really makes me question my own value as a human, and really does put me in a defensive frame of mind when dealing with other people, because I know I'm judged on equal footing as the immortal who shares the same temporal space as me.
And with a big exhale of frozen breath, the spell is broken, and Sam is no longer under hypnosis.
She's a vampire killer.
No, guys, this could be useful.
No, we're not killing anyone. You just said some really nice things, and I think we're all
She took control of my mind and made me say that. I had no intention of saying any of that.
I only unlocked the chains that were around your heart. I freed you, technically.
You imprisoned me in chains and dragged me into the sunlight. And if it were sunny right now, I'd drag you out into the sunlight and turn you to dust.
Okay. Hey, we have a vampire in our party now, but she's still our friend. We're not going to drag anybody into the sunlight. Well, we can drag anyone but Bryn into the sunlight, I guess.
Bryn, you do feel
because that's
weak.
a cure for jaundice.
You do feel weak, as though your stats are flipped into daylight mode. Just to be clear, you will not burn up in the sun. It just saps your strength. But you can tell that wherever you are right now, it is daytime. And at that moment, with that realization, as they're talking about dragging you out into the sunlight and you feel very weak and weary, the door to the room opens. And a fella who's pretty short and a little husky, in some floor-length robes and a big, it's just like the things that priests wear. What is that? Like the thing you put over your shoulders that go down?
Airplane pillow.
Tabard?
A habard. What?
A tabard?
Tabard, yeah. A tabard. It doesn't look religious in any way, but it does look official. It's a little bit ratty. This guy might be on like the lower rungs of some structure. He comes in, he's checking a list. He's got a scroll rolled out and he says, "Hey, all right, hey, yeah, sorry about that. We went a little long. So, I've heard good things. Yeah? You guys ready for your first event?"
Could you actually, Mr. DeVito, tell us a little more about what we should expect in there?
All right, so it's going to be a blind challenge, which means that you guys go in. You're not going to have much information ahead of time. I don't actually know what's going to be inside. But you'll have a few clues presented to you right before you enter the arena. You'll just need to accomplish whatever it is that's put in front of you. It'll probably be pretty straightforward. Usually it is. If there's a big monster, kill it. If there's a puzzle, solve it. You know the drill. And then based on your performance, the summoner, Slakta, will give you a grade, and you'll see if you move on to the next round.
You seem like you've worked here for a little while. Any tips you'd have? You know, what does the crowd seem to go for here if we're looking to bump up our style?
Sure,
points.
sure. They love theatricality, anything with a flourish, sure. They do also love bloodshed. So if you're not shedding your opponent's blood, they'll want yours to be shed. All fights are to the death. There are no draws, and only the victor may walk out of the arena after an event.
Fight humans? Hope?
There will be some humans, yes. Yeah, for sure. Probably. Yeah, or giant terrible monsters. But, it's like the full spectrum of opponents. I've seen humans. Yeah, I've seen a couple humans. And just last week, just last week, I was watching a couple humans. Yeah, a couple humans were fighting out, yeah.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that match I watched last week, and I was thinking, man, couple humans were just, yeah. I don't know how I got tied up in this racket. It's actually pretty disgusting, and I hate myself. But hey, what are you gonna do? You gotta make a buck, right? Okay. So you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Please say you're quiet again.
This will be your last chance to prepare. So anything you'd like to do before we start has to happen now in this room, because once we leave, no preparations can be made in transition, and everything that happens after that will count towards your score in the event.
I start a very intense stretching routine.
Yeah, limber up. Yeah, in that match I watched last week, I saw a guy pull a hamstring because he didn't stretch.
Hey, man, we need you to tone it down a couple pegs, okay? We're the ones walking out to our potential death here.
Whoa. This guy's doing his job. How do you chastise this guy for doing his job, and you're going to let Bryn skate for all that mind voodoo, making me say all sorts of horrible lies?
Get over it. I drop him a coin.
You what?
I tip you a coin.
Oh, he takes
You're doing a great job.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, I can tell you, I can give you one piece of advice, okay? I saw the last contestants who walked out. They were damp.
The ones that won?
Yeah. They were damp.
Hey, man, what time is it?
Oh, it's the last one went a little bit long, so we're looking at about 8 p.m. Sun will be setting soon, but we probably got at least another hour of good daylight.
What are the odds you could stall for us a little bit? And I offer him another coin.
He pushes the coin back and says, before I take that bribe, which I'm cool. Before I take that bribe, I gotta let you know.
Are you a cop? Is that what you have to tell us?
What? No. Are you?
No, but if you are a cop, you have to tell us.
Look, that's been said a lot in pop culture and has probably forever tainted anyone's understanding of how that situation works. So, I'm not.
He's not a cop, guys. He's clean.
Before I take that gold piece, I probably cannot stall them for long. I can buy you a little bit of time because you do have a small amount of preparation left, but we are running behind schedule. We got several more events that need to happen tonight before the sun comes up tomorrow. So how much time you looking for?
We'll take half an hour. Tell him that I'm just throwing up back here profusely.
All right. You're going to have to roll manipulate someone plus charisma.
Looks like your boy's gonna level up.
Oh, God.
Let's just pause, do some administrative business. The rogue levels up. What do you choose from your level up list?
I think, I don't know that I've ever played with like this pure ability, but I think it's gonna be invisibility.
Okay.
That grappling hook sounds pretty sweet, but I think we're going to take invisibility.
Okay, you unlock the true nature of your shadow cloak and gain the ability to turn invisible. The effect drops if you attack.
Ooh, fancy.
Okay. Yeah, so he says, just keep the coin, buddy. I could maybe get you 5 minutes, okay? I'll try.
Thank you.
Who's watching these battles?
Oh, everybody.
How? Is there a crowd?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Now, this is going to sound a little strange, but what time is it, like, in a much more general sense? Like, you know Horace, right?
Horace?
Yeah.
The town leader from that little Scudsville down
Sure.
the swamp lane?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Jamoke? Yeah, I know Horace.
How old's his kid these days?
Lilith? Oh, we don't talk about Lilith. She got blight sickness a long time ago, and you know.
Wait, what?
So, outside of game, what your characters might be able to gather here is that the memories Slakta has are a set timeline. And while you might be able to enter into them as tests and change the outcome in any number of ways, that does not seem to affect what is happening or what actually happened thousands of years ago. So once he says, Lilith, we don't speak about her because she died, you know that Horace probably ended up on the edge of the swamp jungle, did not have a group of mercenaries who came and agreed to go in after, and was unable to get the ingredients to save his daughter.
All right. Okay, well, thank you.
For what? That's a very depressing story, and seriously, man, don't bring it up. It's a sore subject around here.
Yeah, I get it.
We're big-hearted individuals. You know, we love hard, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you. All right, I can get you 5 minutes.
All right.
And he leaves. You got 5 minutes.
So there's 4 of us. Do you think we're gonna be fighting 4 people or one big strong person?
No way to know, I don't think.
Well, he said something about puzzles too. It might not even be a fight.
Yeah.
I say hopefully.
Oh, I do like puzzles.
I'm going to look around. Tag looks around for maybe on some of these rusty weapons, something like flint, and maybe if there's straw on the ground, just in case he needs to whip up a quick fire. I want to be prepared to do that.
Sure. You can get a fire.
Is there a crowd? Did I miss that? Is there like benches with people sitting in it to watch this?
No, you're in a not small room. You're in the room that's probably the size of like a loft, but the ceiling is rather low, and it seems like you may even be underground.
So this is not the fighting room.
This is not the fighting room. This is just a staging area for the combatants.
Oh God. Okay.
Do you want to heal up more? You feeling good?
Yeah, I had 1 healing potion, so I took it. So I'm at 0 now. And
it tastes horrible.
I know it's bad, guys. This is terrible. I can't. If some blood squirts near my way, I might eat it. Just FYI.
I think that would be understandable.
It's disgusting. Just please don't judge me later about it.
Yeah, we won't judge you if you drink your own blood.
I wouldn't do any good. I don't think.
It's like a vampire diddling themselves.
All right, you got 5 minutes. Anything you want to do?
I got my fire.
Okay. You are sufficiently limbered. I'm going to give you a +1 on your first dex check that you need to make of the event, but you need to remember that. And this Jamoke comes back into the room. He's like, okay, hey, they're pretty pissed off, but I got you the 5 minutes. So he plucks the coin out of your hand, pockets it, says, look, we ready to rock and roll, okay? I got money on this, all right?
Winning or losing?
Winning. After I came in here and I saw how tough you look, I put a couple shekels on the...
Thanks, Danny. That's sweet of you.
And I look at him and I say, I can tell when you're lying.
So you know I'm telling the truth. I bet on the warrior, okay? But I put one on the rogue for losing his pants during the match.
I knew there was something sneaky.
All right, so let's go. He leads you out of the staging area.
I'm going to turn invisible before we head out there.
Okay. You can do it in the staging area, but once you guys leave, any actions you take will start to count against you. From staging area to arena, you're not supposed to do anything. Like, you're not supposed to obtain information. You're not supposed to activate anything. So as long as you activate invisibility inside this staging area, you're
I want it to seem like there are 3 combatants walking out.
cool. Yeah, you can do that. He sees you do it, gives you a thumbs up, and he says, all right, follow me. Okay. Yeah, so you guys are actually led through several torchlit corridors. You do seem to be underground, and you can feel the vibration from above you as though there may be a large crowd somewhere above, stomping, hooting, hollering. You can't hear it, but you can feel it. Then you enter through a double door into a much larger staging area. This one has a ship tied up to a makeshift dock. There is a ceiling far above you. You can see small gaps where there's a very, very dim shifting light, and water is pouring through some of them as if there's some leaks. There's not much to do in this room. You're welcome to try, but you're just led to the ship. There is nobody on board, and there is a little gangway that will allow you to get onto the ship. And Danny Pesci, or DeVito, did you call him DeVito? Whatever you said. He stands there and he says, okay, this is as far as I go. You're supposed to get on the ship. This is your hint. And, bada boom, bada bing. Once you're on the ship, the test will begin. The event. Capiche?
Capiche.
Okay. You climb onto the boat. Once you are aboard, the dock workers and everyone else who's in the staging area, who seems to have been getting things ready, lashing things down, doing some final preparations on the ship, they all clear out. Soon the entire warehouse-sized place is empty. You can hear what must be gigantic metal doors on the fringes of this place being slammed shut, and then very large locks being cranked closed. And then the water that you're floating in starts to rise. You can hear machinery deep below where you are come to life. The water begins overflowing over the dock. The flood is very rapid. Soon, your ship is rising towards the ceiling at an alarming rate, and the entire warehouse is beginning to flood with water. Just before the mast on your ship collides with the ceiling, sunlight splits the metal grating above, and water floods in as the roof opens. Your ship rises up into the arena, floating now in what you can clearly see is a man-made lake. The stands are packed with a shouting crowd of farmers and villagers. Curtains open on a raised box where you can clearly see Slakta sitting in her throne, presiding over the event. She gestures to the water across the arena, where you turn to find a rival ship, this one flying black sails, complete with skull and crossbones. A loud horn rings out through the arena, and the first event has begun. Blackout.
Yes!
Pirates!
Yes! Oh, man.
There you go, kids.
That's
cool as hell.
Jesse, that was rad. Connor, I'm so glad you were able to stay up past your bedtime.
Yes.
That was pretty. I wasn't expecting it. That's why it was good. I thought we had left that behind, but
Bryn, you're the worst. But Lisa, that was the worst. That was the worst use of mind control ever.
I'm still thinking about you telling me that I fall out of towers, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him back."
I like that Bryn's first use of her vampiric powers was just to make Casey say something nice.
Sam, I mean, that was torture for Sam. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it was absolutely diabolical. I was truly, mentally unprepared as a character to go to that place. It was just, yeah.
It was delightful to watch.
Yeah, you had a really tasty. If I may, I think one of my truly favorite moments of this entire show was when Rex pulled out the handle of the knife. Really like choked me up thinking about that and that kind of selfless sacrifice moment. And then for Casey to take that offer and elevate it by having the Eldritch Mare get fixed on that idea of hopes and dreams in almost sort of its own form of vampirism. That was a cool moment, y'all.
Great GM swap.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Merc.
Merc.
Merc did it?
It was Merc and Wags together that made that happen.
They
right?
spoil us. They fucking spoil us. Yeah, thanks. I do like GM swapping.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. It's like so rough. It's like running a relay with Usain Bolt. And like Usain Bolt hands you the baton. It's like, okay, I'm gonna run as fast as I can, but like you kind of you set the bar, so I'll just. And then
I'm excited to see Lisa and Trin take a round in the GM chair. I think that'll be.
It's definitely made easier when you guys fail every roll. It just makes it so much. It's like
please do whatever you want.
Yeah, inboard drama. It's great. So.
Oh man.
All right, Bryn, you won this round, but next round, don't think that Sam was going to sleep on this.
Just we'll see how long I'm a vampire for.
Oh, whether you're a vampire or not, there will be retribution for this transgression.
It's okay. Jesse made me feel horrible for hitting the horse. I was like,
I can't believe you're doing 5 harm. That's fucked up.
It
makes sense.
You built this whole system, man.
I know. It's just one of these things where I made the Barbarian very like for certain moments incredibly powerful. That was just the moment. In the same way that she took all that magic damage, she can just break a glass cannon because that thing it had 1 physical armor. It had 2 magic armor, but only 1 physical. So in that moment, Bryn just could 2-shot that beast, but she would have to the cost is that she can take, if she's fighting a magic being, take a lot of harm too. But yeah, it's just crazy. You put these things on paper, but until you see them in the moments that they're built for, you don't know what they're like.
oh man, so good. All right, we have a question from chat. We've already sort of talked about this in the Discord. So we already know where some people feel about this.
About to fight.
But what is your favorite cake?
Pie.
That's cheating. You have to.
That's not cheating. These questions are designed to stimulate conversation. I'm saying my favorite cake is fuck cake. Give me a pie instead.
I like that cake that you made that last day you were here, the olive oil cake.
Oh. Yeah, I was staying with Jesse. It was like we had just come on. It was like, first of all, it's in mid-quarantine in the summer. It was when those fires were running rampant. And so it was 4 of us in this little house plus a dog who was just super high energy. And for a week and a half, we couldn't leave. We were just tripping all over each other. I'm not trying. I certainly don't. I want to be careful to not be too oh, poor me, when obviously there are people in quarantine situations in much more uncomfortable circumstances, and in many ways, I was incredibly lucky to get to spend some time hanging out with Jesse and his family.
Oh, we had a little bit of a sauna.
Tense. It was, yeah, we were living in a sauna. And so the day I left, I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna make this metaphorical redemption, and I'm gonna bake a cake. And I'm not a baker. I don't really know how to do it. My mom gave me this recipe, and so I just like labored over it. And I was gonna try to do it so perfectly, and I was proud of myself. I think somewhat highly of myself as a cook because I can taste as I go and improvise and experiment. I was like, all right, got to get this right the first time. I'm going to go so by the recipe. Perfect. And I did it. I made this cake. I followed everything to a T except for forgetting to put sugar in it at all.
Oh.
How?
I'm not used to reading and following recipes. I just forgot the sugar because I don't think about baking. So it didn't occur to me intuitively that I was missing this key ingredient. And so we took it out, and clearly it tasted wrong. But Jesse had the brilliant idea of just using it to make French toast the next day. We just took cake and made French toast with it. And it was actually quite good. It was dense. It was like
It was dense. It was a hearty meal.
Hobbit bread it was a hearty meal.
But then you made a second one before you did leave because you made that one the second to last day. You made a second olive oil cake and then left. And I ate it over 3 days and just tasted it getting better and better and better.
All right.
It worked as a breakfast and as a dessert.
That's nice.
Or just like to eat 5 times a day, like for no reason.
Because you're in quarantine, so there
Fuck
are no
it.
rules.
Fuck it, there aren't.
Also true.
That'll be my answer. I got to get this dog out of here. You guys continue talking about cake.
All right, I'll go. I have some strong feelings about cake. I'm going to skip over the ice cream cake and just let that be its whole other cake category.
Totally different thing.
It is its own thing. I'm just going to go on pure cake. And this is tough for me because there is red velvet and there is the lemon velvet. Okay. I'm a huge fan of red velvet with a cream cheese frosting. There is something about a lemon velvet cake, and the key is the frosting. So it's like if you go with like a mascarpone frosting, it's like cake is ruined. Like you've ruined the cake. You've tried to turn it into like a fucking other thing, or if you try to put like yellow custard or anything in, it's just like the cake is so unbalanced so quickly. But if you do buttercream frosting on a lemon velvet, now we're talking about one of those zesty, like refreshing, like closer to lemonade type cakes that just makes you feel like you're not going to get the zest balances out with the sugar, where you're just like, oh, I could eat half of this cake and just be absolutely fine and not be blown out through like a triple chocolate overload cake where it's like you can eat a couple of bites, but then like the brain is just like, all right, we're maxed out on sugar. So if you get the lemon velvet with the buttercream frosting, the proper zest, and maybe one of those little candied lemon wedges on there, oh man, just talk about a high five for the taste buds.
Your enthusiasm might make me rethink my stance. I gotta say, that cake sounds pretty good right now.
Again, it's like if you get the right like buttercream frosting on like a real delicate, like easy to cut lemon, like moist lemon cake. Oh man, just so refreshing.
Yes. I like cheesecake.
Yes.
I hate pumpkin pie. I love pie. I've never liked pumpkin pie, but pumpkin cheesecake is phenomenal. In fact, I think I'm going to attempt to make it next week. Hopefully.
I feel like but like ice cream cake, I feel like cheesecake is also its own separate category.
But I mean, it's cake.
Trin's got a good point there.
You want
It's
sponge
more
cake?
Yeah, if we're excluding ice cream cake, we should also exclude cheesecake.
Ice cream cake.
Or do we accept that cake as a category is faulty in its indiscriminate inclusion of all sorts of varied desserts?
I think maybe we're just trying to explore this one particular portion of the cake spectrum, because nobody's going to argue that cheesecake isn't amazing.
Okay, fine. So if you want spongy cake, then it's funfetti, rainbow chip frosting from when I was like 12.
Fuck
it's just
yeah.
bomb.
Fuck yeah.
It's the best. From like Betty Crocker. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's a good point. You could eat a lot of that without.
Oh, I have. Straight out of the pan with a fork.
Yeah. There was this. I will try to make this a shorter cake anecdote. In years and years, and over 10 years ago, I spent a summer living in New Orleans with like 9 friends. We found this house in the center of the city that the owners had gone to the Alps for the summer. And so it was this like kind of large house, but not at all a 9-person large house. It was like a 2-bedroom house. And so there were people sleeping in the kitchen, air mattresses in the living room, the laundry room, all over the place. And one of the things that we made a habit of making was cherry dump cake. Is that something that is known to this group?
Please.
I'm not going to get it perfectly, but it's like you take a shitty, can opener can of goopy cherries and syrup, dump them into a pan, and then take that kind of like funfetti or just like vanilla Betty Crocker cake mix, dump that on top of it. And then there was one more step, and I don't know what it was, and then just put that in the oven.
Like the eggs and the oil. Do you have to add that?
I kind of feel like you don't.
How was it?
I don't remember the nuances of cherry dump cake, but I do remember that, as the name would suggest, it was really just dumping a bunch of these things into a pan.
Did it taste good?
Yeah, it tasted delicious. But also, our standards were very low at the time.
I mean, when you're hungry, a cherry dump cake sounds pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, not uncommon for memories and company to be infused into the cake that you're baking.
Absolutely. As is the case with so many food experiences.
Yeah. Look at the stuff that Slocked is able to do.
With cake?
With
memory.
lamb blood?
Oh, I'm still
With
on
lamb
cake.
blood.
Yeah. I think, Jesse, I do want to say, if Slockton did have a ghost bakery, we might spend more gold.
Hey.
That's true.
I told you guys that there was a treasure chest in the Eldritch Mare's nest, and you just
know.
didn't go open it up. I have a list full of cool stuff that was in it too.
I missed that.
Every time I
Darn it.
put treasure in there, I have a list, so I don't have to make it up on the spot, and you guys just get whatever is in it. Oh yeah, 10 gold, 1 potion of invisibility, 1 potion of beast shape, 1 scroll of enlightenment. I wrote down potion of beast shape and scroll of enlightenment without defining what they were too. So
Oh
you
man.
guys could have had that.
Looks like you found the magic item scroll of rubbing it in.
Yeah, the magic scroll of being an ass.
All right, take us home, Summoner.
Cake
Oh,
sucks.
okay.
That's my vote.
What?
Pie's better, yeah, but can I like cake? Can I just have a sweet tooth?
Yeah. They're both pretty
Yeah,
delicious.
Trish, what were you
I'm not
saying?
trying to rain on anyone else's parade. Let me be clear. If you love cake, great. Go love cake. But I do not love cake.
Not even cake pops?
Oh God.
Oh god, they're so good.
Do you like donuts?
I don't like donuts.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
What about muffins?
I mean, they're a little better than cup. I think my main objection to most cakes is that I find most desserts to be overly sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
They're dessert.
It's the
Why we're
frost.
talking about scrambled eggs.
Jesse, nobody's fucking attacking you. You eat whatever. You want to just go take a spoon into a bag of sugar and just Lop it into your mouth. You can.
It's just like being like, oh, this water is so wet. Ugh.
Well, I also don't like the way plain water tastes. So
Okay.
I'm not a reliable
This is who we're trusting with the cake judgment here.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Mark Thomason for running our tech, doing all the goodness behind the scenes. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to, hold on, Sirenscapes. I think I'm remembering that right. For all of our sound effects that you hear, like the little noises. Do we even get frogs this time? We might have got frogs.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we got frogs.
Because the Sirenscapes.
Sirenscapes. They're so awesome. Thank you to Aaron Buman for our intro and all of our graphics and all of our music, which is just ridiculously great. And our new fadeaway scenes. What are those called? My brain's not working. Bumpers. The bumpers that we had today. Those were new that he cooked up for us this week. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you to Mark Workey for being our mod, creating amazing stories, which one's on Twitter right now about, I think, Professor Brodigan, and for giving us a GM swap. Thank you so much. Thank you to the other wonderful people that donated today. And another one came in that I didn't see, I think. I'm sorry, but thank you. Well, thank you on Twitter once I figure out.
Wags got in on the action.
Wags?
I think Wags had some in from last week, and that's what completed the GM swap.
Okay.
Or
Gotcha.
Merc completed the GM swap, but as kicked off by Wags.
Oh.
Look, we're grateful to everybody.
With their hands. I can only snap with one of my hands.
You can do that. Oh, God.
Which is your snappable hand, Trin? Let's hear the other one.
Are you left-handed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't whistle, so.
Me neither.
Nope. Nope. See, it sounds like that.
When we finish with these thank yous and goodbyes, Lisa, let's try to whistle together as the going out.
Okay. Okay. Who am I missing? Oh, thank you, Zombie Orpheus, so much for hosting us. We have got Zoe Game Night tomorrow at 6 p.m. Then we got Masters of the Metaverse on Monday at 6 p.m. And I'm going to be there, finally, after years. We have a little Space Princess reunion. And then next Wednesday, you get us fighting in this glorious ship. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Bring a friend next week. Share the love.
You ready, Connor?
So ready.
I can't do it when I'm laughing.
I thought you couldn't do it at all. I can't do it at all.